What up? What up? What up? What up, man? Hey, yo, I'm super excited about the show we got coming. Uh, we got coming on. We got happening today. Um, Today we get to learn. We get to learn more about Mr. Edwin Hampton, the great. The we call a lot of people legends, but this elder, this ancestor ours, this is different right here. Like if he a legend, then we it's a lot of people we got to take that title from, man. We today we pay homage to Mr. Edward Hampton, and we have some esteemed, to say the least, esteemed alumni
Yeah,
of
I,
of.
they ain't all that. Yeah,
Oh
I
man,
ain't
I
going
listen.
there.
I hold these brothers in high regard. We got her here
Most
tonight, man.
definitely, most definitely, most definitely.
But we have some esteemed, uh, distinguished alumni of St. Augustine High School of New Orleans, Louisiana. So we also I have my guest hosts on. That's one is Burger Band Jesus.
They know who I am. They know.
Uh, we got Johnny, my brother, both of them, my brother from another mother. Johnny, how you making out, King?
Good today.
That's what's up. Well, y'all know who we are, man. We gonna start this out by just for the two or three of y'all that don't know who these dudes are. We
That's so
gonna we gonna we gonna. I know, right? We
bro, look at
for
Christian comment. I got
huh?
Christian comment.
Put Chris Shaw and comment up there, please. That
Why?
boy said, "Why is Rocco here? He went to school before Christ."
Wait, on the slick. Rock about the youngest one on the show.
That's the funny part. That's the funny
That's the
part.
cool part. Anyway, we gonna allow this esteemed group of brothers that I respect to the fullest
Highest
to introduce
authority.
themselves, and then we're gonna get into the life of Mr. Hampton and the history of St. Augustine High School.
Hey,
So
before they introduce
brother,
themselves, before they introduce
mhm,
themselves, make sure y'all share out the page so we can get it. Like, for all the Saint
yeah.
Augustine, they could see this particular edition of Saint Augustine and the dedication to Mr. Edwin Hampton. Make sure y'all share. Make sure y'all like the page. Go ahead. Just wanted to say that.
I don't know how y'all are able to view it, but from my left to my right is brother Rock, is brother Keith, it's Mr. Johnson, and his brother Wallace, in that order. So if y'all could, I'm sorry, brother Wallace, you didn't know this, but how we gonna start it off is we're gonna start with everyone introducing themselves and giving their band facts. So
And
what just
facts.
what schools you march for? So brother Rock, we can start with you. If you could unmute your phone. And everybody, while he's talking, if y'all could mute your phones.
Can y'all hear me? Can
You
everyone hear
good?
me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rockman Nance. Everybody call me Rock. Still does call me Rock. Um, I've been playing drums. I played drums all through school. At Craig Elementary, Gregory Junior High, St. Augustine High School, and Southern University. I was all right. I was decent, decent player. Next.
That was sarcasm, y'all.
That was so
Listen,
modest of him.
Rock is one of my drum heroes. And by the way, he ain't like that in person. He's not nearly as modest.
Oh, he cursed me out every time he see me.
Every time. I mean, the dude
Every
is crazy.
time.
I'm trying to be good.
Hey, brother Keith, could you give your band facts to the people, man? And
Yeah,
hey, I'm
man.
sorry, could y'all give the years y'all marched at particular schools as well? I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Once again, I want to thank y'all for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to be on y'all show tonight. I started out at Philip Elementary, man. Actually, you won't believe this. I started out on drum, but the wrist wasn't good enough, so I played the saxophone about fifth grade. I went to Phillips Junior High for 7th through 8th grade under the good man up by St. Aug band director Wellington McKissick. Moved on St. Aug fall '81, Ray senior year, drum major, and played the sax, played the alto sax in the stage band, played the oboe in the concert band. And luckily, my senior night, I had the pleasure of being named drum major of the band. Moved on to Texas Southern. I went to Texas Southern, Ocean of Soul from 1984 to '86. So I had a great career, swag. I just did, had fun. Music was my life. Got to college free too. So
That's what's up, big bro. And brother Ray, you mind introducing yourself to the people and giving them, as we call them, your band facts?
All right. I take it that y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay. All right, got it.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
We
Well,
can.
Ray Johnson, 1981. Marched at St. Aug from 1978 to '81. I'm a product of Woodson Junior High under Mr. Walter Harris, uh, St. Augustine, Mr. Hampton. I went to Xavier for a year, then I transferred to Southeastern upon the Drum and Bugle Corps scholarship, which I marched for 5 years. And I made it back to St. Augustine as Mr. Hampton assistant for 11 years. Went on to be a band director at John McDonough High School, Algiers Technology Academy, St. Mary's Academy High School for 10 years. And now I'm presently back at home as the band director at St. Augustine High School.
Yes, sir.
Some people when they give their band facts, it sounds like they're showing off. Like Jesus Christ!
Man, did you hear that? I'm like, damn.
I'm like,
Like you got some more?
All right, brother Wallace, could you mind introducing yourself to the people?
Man, y'all put me after Ray. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I
Jeez.
just made it brief for y'all.
Right.
What's up, Wild?
What's up, Ray? Man, y'all put me after Ray, man. It's like I don't know how I can top that. But my name's Wallace Fisher. I started at Andrew J. Bell Junior High School. I played band at Craig Elementary first. That's where I met Rock. I think I was in kindergarten. Rock was in the 6th grade, and then we got to St. Aug together. So kind of caught up to him. Right.
Tell us Rock real age.
To be honest with you, I'm about a year older than he is. A lot of people don't know that. So, with Bell, I actually took section at Bell on tenor drum. My second year, my 8th grade year, Mr. Rich put me through a class to learn timpani, and there's 3 people that learned timpani. It was Johnny Petit, if y'all don't know him, a Kennedy legend, Sean Ruffin, me, and then after me was Kiefer. So we went to class timpani. So I left there to go to St. Aug, and this is a true band fact for sure. I took section my first year at St. Aug. First year, baby. Just went on, just rock and roll for sure. And did that from '89 to '92. Then I went on to Southern. Southern. Went to Southern, and I was clap section at Southern. Second year, and played there for 2 years, '92 to '93. And then on that, I just went up to LSU and UNO. Those are my band facts. I got a lot of to brag. I got a lot of lineage behind me for sure. Hebrea Kiefer, led to Mike Malone, led to Dre, led to all those full sheets and stuff like that. That y'all talked about. That started from my era for sure.
Don't
For
cuss
sure,
on this
man.
show. We don't say full shit on this show. That is cuss word.
Yeah, that's a bad word. We leaving the hooliganism off this show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We leaving that alone.
Hey, question. Do me a favor, y'all. If you're not talking, because we getting a bad connection somehow. If you're not talking, mute your phone. We getting some feedback. But anyway, the host, if y'all don't mind, if I could ask the first question, man. Listen, can y'all just tell us about Mr. Hampton? Like, how was it? Just tell us about him and y'all experience. Y'all all kind of went to, besides Wallace and Rock. Y'all all kind of got that different times, man. I personally have so many questions about him, but just tell us about him, y'all, just in y'all experience.
Let Ray go first.
Who you want to go first?
Ray, you can go first.
Yeah.
His phone may have froze up. Rock, can you go?
Okay, that Ray. Go ahead, Ray.
Mr. Hampton. Well, okay. Well, to me, just like everyone else, he was a teacher, a mentor, and a father figure. And the program itself that was in place, we kind of wanted it to be, we all formed a brotherhood, but when you used to being a part of the best, you kind of set your own standards high. So we actually, he drove us to that level, and we didn't want to disappoint him. So that's where his greatness comes from, motivating us to be great.
Brother Keith, if I asked you to tell me about him, and I never met him, what would you tell me about him?
Uh, just a man that um I'll never forget my ninth grade year coming from Philip. Philip wasn't the best junior high band. You had people from Woodson, Bell, Gregory, Lawless. Back then, Lawless was a junior high when I was on in junior high. My first day of the band, he said, once you walk through the door, I'm your mama and your dad. I'll never forget that long as I live. And just he was stern. I've seen him break down the toughest dudes in the city, but you just loved him because he wanted you to be good. He didn't want you to mess over his band. That's what he said. When you in his band and you put this A on your chest and this 100 on your back, we rolling, and you do. And he just wanted the culture to change about black bands. Everybody thought you're gonna feel shake your butt. He just wanted to drill, and show it was another side to bands marching. That's why we should say the band put marching back in the marching. That's what we say when we come on the field. And we love doing field shows. If you won't believe this, in 4 years at St. Aug, I did 5 dance routines, and that was it. So by the time I got to college, I was laughing at the routines. So he was stern, but he knew so much. He went to learn and make a change in black bands in the city of New Orleans.
Brother Rock?
Like I mean, to piggyback off of what Keith just said, very stern disciplinarian. But what I respected most about him, he stressed intelligence. He stressed being intelligent. He used to say it's the thinking man's game, man. Like when we outside on the field practicing, he didn't want. In other words, you gotta be smart to do this. So Burger wouldn't have been in our band. but anyway, but yeah, that 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 man, right? Some of the stuff that man used to say, I find myself to this day, 30 years later, saying the same things because that's how deep and impactful he was. And it's that was a magical experience. I didn't fully understand it back then, but as an adult, I fully understand what I experienced, and I'm so thankful to have been able to experience it. Wallace.
All right, guys. Actually, everybody said everything. Father figure, mentor. I was scared of him for sure because he was very, very stern, like very stern. And us being in the drum section, we were all wild as it is already. So we did a lot of things to test him. So and he we put the law down on us a lot. But what Rock said, it was mostly, he said it's a thinking man game. He challenged us to be men. At 12, 13, 14, 15, depending on when you got there. We got there in the 10th grade, Rock and I. And, he made us, do more than what we were. And being on the field, like Keith said, he loved the shows. And he literally wrote the shows, and we would get papers, and he would go, okay, we're gonna do a 5, 10, 15 half full cycle in a 3-2-1 order. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Now we thinking, okay, you number one, you trying to figure out, okay, and 5, 10, 15 half full, boom, and you gotta just start going, right? And when you mess up, oh my God, it's like law's gonna come down big time. But he helped us to be men early on, and like Rock said, the things that I learned from him, I literally do today. Today at work, in New York or wherever it is, right? I literally, those practices that I do today is because of the things that he taught us, at an early age for sure. And like I said, I'll never forget him. He's the man for sure.
I wanted to ask y'all a question because I never met Mr. Hamp per se, but like every St. Aug grad that you meet, all y'all like exactly the same when it comes to y'all school and y'all school pride. No matter the era, and that's crazy. But in a way, like when you look back on it, it's like, damn, they ain't even go to school together, but all of them act exactly the same. And I mean the people that actually was around Mr. Hamp and actually got to, witness him. I'm saying, what is your? Can y'all give me a Hamp story that y'all remember one of y'all just personally, y'all personal Hamp story? Y'all gotta
Uh,
unmute y'all mic. It don't matter who goes.
yeah.
Wallace, you go ahead.
All right, so let me say this. He's a disciplinary, right, for sure. That's why you need to send all back, not just the band, really. It's the school. People that graduated in the 50s and 60s that were in the school, we all have almost the same decorum. But I remember a personal story with me. I think it was in the 11th grade. No, yeah, 11th grade maybe. And I stole a cold drink, right? We were getting soda from the field, right? And I wanted to be slick and not be a good thief because I got caught. Boy, Peanut was right next to me. And Peanut was like, "Hey man, he coming?" And I didn't see him. He comes. He must have cussed me like 80 times in maybe like 3 seconds, right? You in my F or something, something. This is at the game, like later at the game. I'm like, oh my God, right?
Mr. Hamp talked
So
that way?
what, man? He told me, and then he told me, I'm going to kick your A up and down this field. I was scared to get on the bus. I'm like, oh man. So I didn't go to his office after the game. So the next Monday, I'll go back, and he calls me to the office because he remembers me and Quentin Omar, and we in the band room. He said, I'm getting ready to put y'all out, and I'm going to tell y'all a story. That's a true story. I literally stood there and cried. I said, Mr. Hamp, please don't put me out this band. I love this band. Please don't put me out. So he saw it in my eyes. He said, you know what, Fisher? Go back up in there, right? So I went back on my drum. He gave me some compassion, but man, he was a very, very stern disciplinary. When I say he cussed me out like 20 times within about 20 or 30 cuss words in about 3 seconds, yeah, it was really bad. Pete knows it. Every time he sees me, he tells me the exact words he said. Like just at the game, I'm on the end in front of people. And he said, "I'm gonna kick your behind up and down this field, like literally." And so I was shot after that. I couldn't even play a solo if I wanted to, right? It was done.
Well, my story is it's just that coming from Philip public school, understand all the discipline change. So I got paddled a lot by different teachers, and I can say that I never got hit by Mr. Hamp because you never knew what he was going to use. Sometimes it was a belt, sometimes it was a battery, sometimes it was a key. Sometimes he made you sit on the water on the field. So that's how the discipline. But my funny story is people don't realize anything when you're a drum major,
Wait,
even if you're
Keith,
a
I want you to get
dancer.
to your story. What you mean? What you mean sit on the water? What was that?
If you messed up and it had rained, sometimes puddle would be on the field and on the blacktop. You mess up, he would say, "Sir, pass it," like race. I mean, like Brock said, sit in the water. And the guy was sitting
So
in the water.
you gotta walk around with a wet ass all day.
The water was hot.
No, you have to practice. After school. We practice after school. So yeah.
I would have messed up one
And
time and never messed up
I
again.
I have never seen not one guy say, "Over the hell, I'm not sitting in that water." But my story is, everybody sees saying, "Oh, drum major." They say, "Well, y'all just dance." I said, "Oh, drum major wasn't about dancing. and you actually did an interview, and so that helped for later on for jobs. And the very first question he asked me in that room, he said, "Are you trying to be drum major for the women?" I said, "Wow," caught me off guard, and I was like, "Whoa!" I know that, but in the back of my mind, it was different. But I couldn't say yeah. But it's just that process, man. Of like I said, you never knew what he was gonna do. I can't tell all the stories because, like I say, Hampton would be in jail right now with some of the stuff he did to kids in the bedroom.
Hey, hey, bro. Yeah, all the wildest story. I was thinking it, but I was like, don't. I ain't gonna put my boy out there. But thank you for putting yourself out there, fool. But man, I I remember our junior year. Now he was a stickler for following protocol and being on time. And we had rules. If you missed the day before, you don't go fall on the field. You go to the side, check in with him and Ray, and Mr. Caruso and them, and they'll send you on the field. Well, this dude, I'm not gonna say his name. This dude fell in the ranks. We were practicing for homecoming. Dude, dude, they called his name. He said, "Where are you, man?" This dude was in the ranks. He raised his hands. He called him over there to the side. Mr. Hampton just sit on his ladder on the side by the rectory, by the priest rectory. Now we don't. I mean, we had attention across the field, so we don't know what's being said. All thing we hear is "huh," and he grabbed the drum major mace and and went to work on him. And then he had a coke can, shook the coke can, but threw the coke on him. They told him, they told him fall in. I, well, bro, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. Wallace, you remember what I'm talking about? Ray, you remember that?
Say, bro, band we used to be different. It was different. All right,
Way
Mr.
different.
Ray.
Boy, today Mr. Hap would have been in jail.
Oh,
Yeah,
incarcerated.
he couldn't have took it. He couldn't have
The
took it.
Incarcerated.
kids would have read it. They wouldn't even. They would have walked and called the police.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm pretty sure. Ray, I'm pretty sure. Let Ray tell something.
Hey, I'm late, y'all. What's up, y'all?
What's up,
What's
Darrell?
up, Darrell? Glad to have you, King.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rick got to unmute him.
All right, we got you, Mr. Ray. He muted himself back.
Boy, these old men in this technology gonna be the death of them.
Hey, Ray,
Man, listen,
how
I
are we
feel
gonna
him
get back?
because my son got to put mine together every week. Every week. If
Hey,
yeah.
look. How about all y'all just unmute y'all phone and leave it unmuted, and we'll mute ours while y'all talk.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
but if no. But if they have a bad connection, if one of them have a bad connection, we're gonna still be in a bad spot. So
Oh,
the
all
muting
right.
while we talk is okay. We gonna get back to Mr. Ray when he can get on. Johnny, what you got? You have a question for him?
So I have I want to know a little bit of some history. I want to what did Mr. Hampton talk about for as integrating the Mardi Gras parade? Like, what was those conversations like with the band? Or did he like mention it, or like was it something that he did mention every just to get in y'all heads? Or could y'all tell us a little bit about that portion of integration of
Well,
Mardi Gras?
since Ray's having a problem, he's driving, and I don't want him to hit nobody, and I probably told it in, and I had a tight connection with Mr. Hamp. Um, like I said, we integrated Rex in 1967, first black band into Rex, and the reason why people really don't know and say the rift between St. Aug and Zulu, where St. Aug really didn't march in Zulu to the 90s. Zulu came to have asked to march in their parade, but back in the 60s, Zulu didn't have a parade route. They went to every bar in the city. That's how Zulu rode back in the late 50s and the 60s. So Mr. Hap and the priest really didn't like that, putting the boys in that situation, marching where we don't have a route. We just gonna go to that bar, go to that bar, and that's the reason when Rex came to St. August said, "Well, okay, I think it's time." And then another thing people really don't know, like St. Aug playing in the Catholic League back then. Everybody else was white schools. We played Chalmette High School, even though they was a public school, but it was in the Catholic League. So St. Bernard Parish, hey, stuff go down and we might not be down there. So every time we played Chalmette, they would play Dixie music. So Mr. Hap came up with the idea. If you ever heard St. Aug play Ray Charles' America the Beautiful, that we queued it up every time we played Chalmette. Just to say, okay, you keep playing that Dixie, but we're gonna play Ray Charles' American the Beautiful. That's just something people really don't know. Why y'all keep playing American the Beautiful? We only played it for Chalmette because they played Dixie. So it was, but later on you see, it was so much he did, and Rock could tell you and Wiley could tell you, we would play at hotels, Marriott on school nights, and they might have 10 people at a table. And you'd be like, Mr. Hunt, why are we playing for 10 people in a Marriott on a school night? But it's just that it grew and people, it grew tremendously, and all bands respected him. And that was just Mr. Hunt, his way of doing things. You don't respect me. And one of the funny stories, I'm gonna let everybody else say this. Back when I was at St. Aug, if you didn't pay the whole way, we wasn't coming to see you. If you had to pay the buses, the hotel, we had my senior year had a band, battle band in Houston. They had broken down that each band member had to pay $25. That's all they had to pay. Parents had to pay $25. But they have to say, no, if they ain't paying for the buses and the hotel, we ain't going. So that was his rule. That was his rule.
He would talk about it.
And I like that. I like that. That's
Yep.
fair.
Yep. Because you ain't gonna do that to Mace. You ain't gonna pay him halfway. So if you want to see Michael Jackson, you got to pay for him.
Yeah, that's smart. It absolutely should have been that way.
With us,
you know what?
with that. Go ahead, Matt.
All right.
I did. If anybody that watched the show from week to week, y'all, they know that I'm very conscious of issues of blackness, and so when I found out that Mr. Hampton, I just made 40 a couple Thursdays ago, man. My father was born in 1952, the year Mr. Hampton got to St. Aug. Am I correct on that? He got there in 1952, correct?
Well, he started in 1950. He started set opened up in 1951. He started in 1951. He finished Xavier till 1952. But his first year he was like student teaching. So he started in 1951. The school opened, but he graduated from Xavier in 1952.
Okay, got you. Okay, so he got there at the pinnacle of Jim Crow's law and everything else. When I hear, and this is going to be controversial, so let me say that. But when I hear the stories of how those animals treated those kids when they marched through the streets, and the horrible, I don't even like saying it because I get so angry when I think about it. Like, these were children. Have y'all ever talked to Mr. Hampton about that experience? And what is it that he told those young men? Though I consider myself at in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, so I was very emotional and full of testosterone and hormonally imbalanced. What is it that legend told those kids to keep their spirits settled, as those animals did everything they could to degrade them? What first off, a hell of a man, and I don't even know if I could have did it. But what is it that he would have told those kids to keep their spirits settled? And anybody can answer that. I'm just curious. Rock, Keith, anybody?
Ray, you want
Okay,
this one?
well, I think I'm back now. Yeah, I dropped my phone. I was trying to pull up in my driveway. So, I mean, just like what we see going on today. I mean, it takes a lot of guts, but it takes a lot of heart, knowing that when you a better person, I would imagine during that time he told him just like what they were seeing in the 50s, you know, turn the other cheek, because the goal was to let these people know that even though y'all treating us like that, we still gonna be better than y'all. But we're gonna show you. So that was part of it. And that came down from the school, you know. The Josephites told the students those same things, you know.
I remember him telling us that there was a wall of priests around the band. So they were around the perimeter of the band, and like you said, Matt, there were people, because I think Mardi Gras was in the French
Mm-hmm.
quarters during those times, right? And people putting urine and stuff like that and balloons and just dropping them on the band members' heads. And he took the king approach, non-violently type of thing. And he would tell us, he would get upset with us because when we would react, want to react violent to something that someone did, or something happened one night, he would tell us, just to, basically turn the other cheek and just be better than the people that were saying those type of things to us. And he would get really, really upset when we came out of our character. The same old character standing at attention and letting someone really bother us, with words or stuff like that. And I remember him talking to us about that a lot. And he just wanted us to stay the course. And like Ray said, we're better than you regardless of how that racial stuff was going on. So those are the stuff he told us about what's going on in the 50s, especially what was going on back then also, because when we were in school, I think there was a big old fight with a band or whatnot, and some people came to interview us, and they said, what would you do? And he told us, hey, do not say, you retaliate, because, I don't mind him coming from the hood. You hit me, I hit you back. And he just wanted to make sure that we put the right message out there. Did you say what?
Yeah, y'all pretty much said what I was thinking, and I've had personal conversations with him about it, and I remember one time telling him, this is after I graduated. I'm like, man, Mr. Ham, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. He said, well, I didn't think I would be able, I didn't think I could do it until I had to do it. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that, because I mean, I wasn't as level headed as I am now back then, back then, as calm as I am now, as it was like back. But but I mean, it was lessons that was instilled inside the school that, to me, in my opinion, enabled them to do that. Because without the internal lesson inside the school, they probably wouldn't have been able. It probably would have been a free for all out there, you know. But
To pick,
in the school they instill discipline, mental toughness, physical toughness, everything in us in the school throughout the day.
to,
This is
to, to
all
pick
kind of
to,
lessons, huh?
to piggyback on what Rock's saying, it's all about discipline. We're gonna hear us say discipline in that band. Like when Dan Andrews did the skit about look at me, smile. We couldn't look in the crowd. We couldn't smile. I remember an old white lady went up and down my leg when I was doing yet. I couldn't look at her and tell her nothing because somebody would have told her, keep looking in the crowd. And once again, it all goes back to that if that man find out what happens when we get back to school, you don't know what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna tell the story, and this is gonna treat some people really don't know the story. Ray is modest. He's not gonna say it. My freshman year, drum major got shot in the Bikers Parade. That drum major was Ray Johnson. That was on a Sunday night. Tuesday, we was going march in the Rex. So I went to school morning, dressed up, fully dressed, and Rex Parade had some kind of special thing going on that year, and they said they were gonna have extra police protection, cars pulling up for us. We had no problems. Mr. Ham said, we not going. They shot my drum major, and we want to know why. And so my freshman year, we ain't marching the Rex. He said, everybody go home. Woo! Everybody went home, and that showed me like, whoa, you ain't gonna mess. He might be hard on us, but you ain't gonna mess with my boy. And I was as a freshman like, Wow. I said, I was ready to move. He said, y'all done shot my drum major. We ain't going nowhere. And they're going to give us police protection. He said, man, the police shot him. That's who shot him. You know, that instilled me right there. He got our back. Yeah, he hard as a mother. He had our back.
Hold on. Like I'm I can't even process what you just said because I'm so
Yeah,
messed
I'm
up.
trying to get that
Yeah, I
too.
never
What you?
heard that
I
story.
couldn't
Yeah.
even process it because it was so crazy what he just said. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, say that again,
Wow.
Keith. You said
Well,
the drum major.
it's saying all we have a million chaperones. And saying all come down the street until you get to the curb. And so he got into altercation. The policeman was off duty. He got into altercation with one of the chaperones, and he pulled out his gun. The gun hit the ground. Bullets actually hit the person in the crowd and Rick. And so that's what happened. You know. But yeah, it was on Canal Street, right by Popeyes. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Yeah.
Man, I won't say so many bad things right now, but this ain't that kind of show.
Yes,
So,
dude. What?
oh my God, I won't wig out. Like
I,
that's
you know,
horrible.
but
That's
but you know,
horrible.
but you know what's the
True
you
story.
saying
True story.
you know what you saying that it's two things that you know how much respect you have to have for a man for you not to do nothing when somebody throw some fucking urine on you and you don't get out the line to bust their ass. Like I ain't gonna lie, at Abe, I wouldn't have had that kind of patience. I would have got put. I wouldn't have cared. But you know how much respect you had to have for a man to be like, I'm not going. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna walk this 4 mile parade, a mile parade with smelling like piss for somebody else. That's a lot of respect. But Ray, I'm gonna just tell you this. Man, I've been knowing you for a long time. You, the reason why I met Mr. Hampton. Because I remember, I don't know if you remember this when you brought about Xavier Prep with Mr. Wilson, and I met Mr. Hampton, and I now since you saying that, Keith, I can
I
see
did.
why Ray was so close to Mr. Hampton like that. You know what I'm saying? I never heard that story, and for Ray to just kept doing music and just to be where he's at, man, like amazing, bro. Like there's so many guys that's like in my generation and like a little bit maybe Matt in the early '90s got so much respect for Ray. But man, just that right there, man, just you getting shot in the middle of the parade and you still band director, like that's flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like marching in the parade. So Ray, much respect to you, man. Like real,
Salute, man.
yeah, real. That's some real
Hey,
stuff.
man, listen. I always say this on this
Thank
show,
you.
but
Thank y'all, fellas.
but
I
but
appreciate
but
it.
St.
Appreciate
Aug band history is literally Black history. Like for those of y'all that don't know it, St. Aug band played. Even my father said talks about how intricate of a role St. Aug played in the civil rights movement in New Orleans in the 50s and 60s. It was a lot of stuff. He spoke about how some of those brothers became Black Panthers at a young. Well, we can get into that later, but St. Aug history is Black history in New Orleans. I'm telling y'all, it's deep. Um, but anyway, I'm sorry. Which burger? It's on you, man.
Nothing is just it's just crazy because you think about what they had to endure, and now it's starting to come into relation. The reason why they are the way they are, man, they dealt with so much stuff, and it just carried over for generation to generation. Not everything he taught them is still is being in them. They never forgot it. The fact that they had to deal with that and was able to watch them parade, I'm sorry. I know they'd have killed my ass out there on St. Charles. Cause ain't no way I would have took no piss on me. They'd have killed me. They'd have killed me on St.
Man,
Charles.
that's wild. Hey, I have a question for
I
y'all
wasn't
though.
disciplined
So
enough. And
the
now
the thi-
to see a level of discipline that you to,
the a question I got for y'all. The thinking around New Orleans is amongst public school grads is that St. Aug was a very wealthy band. That y'all got new instruments and uniforms and cymbals and drums and drum heads. Y'all had the yellow. We didn't have all of that going on. That the thinking was that y'all were a very wealthy band and that y'all had all new stuff. especially in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Uh, is that it? What is that? Shout out to my little cousin Chris Quest. He was drum major for. I see him on there for St. Noel. But is that true?
Hey,
Were y'all like a wealthier
hey,
band?
let me touch this because I hate that, bro. Man, y'all had money. Y'all have no idea how many dudes that was in there. People was barely scraping to pay that tuition, bro. I put it to you like this: the set of drums we got, the set of drums we had my first 2 years, we got them in 1975, and we had them all the way until, and we used them up until the spring of 1991 for performances. Now, my senior year, that was the purple and gold glitter Slingerland drums, which that was that. I love Slingerland drums. That, to me, that's the best marching drums ever made. But anyway, my my senior year, we got a new set of drums, and I swear to God, you would have thought it was Christmas the whole year. We had brand new drums, brand new. Now we always had brand new cymbals the whole time I was there, but brand new drums. And when I tell you, we couldn't touch them unless we had a performance, because he's the same.
So y'all didn't get new horns and new instruments like often?
Not often, not often. No,
What?
not no. I'm bro.
No. Nope.
I'm Matt. I'm explaining it to you now. That is a myth. That
Myth.
Everybody's saying oh yeah money. That is a myth.
Okay, and
Uh,
it's not. I'm not talking about the people. I know some
I'm talking
brothers
about.
that went to some.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
talking about the band program. You know,
yeah.
a
Okay.
lot of people
Well,
think y'all are a really wealthy band.
I'll be specific about with the band then. Same rules apply. Same answer. We we had a whole hell of a lot of money, man. Because I remember Ray, you might remember this, and Wallace, I know you remember this. We got invited to go to the Hula Bowl in Hawaii to perform for the Hula Bowl. And that same year, that was also the first year we went
Right.
to Atlanta for the Martin Luther King parade that used to come on TBS on national TV. So we, of course, we all like, yeah, we want to go to Hawaii.
Put it
Man, that man was talking about like eight
right.
hundred dollars a person. Atlanta, it is. We go to Atlanta. That killed
Right.
that
That's
right
true.
there.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That who else want to touch on it?
What about in your era, Keith? Did y'all have? Was it?
Well, like I said, like I said, like Rock said, 3/4 of the band was from public school. Magnolia Project, St. Bernard Project, all projects, Lawless, Night Ward, man. And to be honest with you, if you wasn't good, I guarantee your uniform had holes somewhere in it. Mr. Hamp just knew how to fix horns. Baritones had tape on it, but you just didn't see it. So yeah, I laugh at that. We had we had some brothers struggling. We ain't had the bass horns were there for years. The drum sets were there for years. But we made, like I say, Mr. Hap had a deal with Campo. You know about Campo, huh? You know what Campo at? Campo is on the back hard is not. That was Campo. World Lines. Oh, they got some money off saying, oh, fixing them instruments. Yeah, so you might be all week with an instrument. By Saturday, that horn gonna be fixed and you on the field with it. So yeah, that's just a myth. Totally.
Real quick, let me touch on that real quick. That goes to show you the discipline of the program, right? The ins and out of the program look so good to the outside people. They really didn't know the struggle that we had inside the program. With the white bucks and standing at attention and the clean uniforms, like the parents, right? And like he said, we had holes in our uniforms like that. Just the discipline of the program made it look like we were a wealthy program, and we really wasn't, right? It was monthly, almost monthly between my sophomore and my junior year, my senior. The last cut off for tuition, I'm leaving the school because I don't have enough money for tuition, right? I come back the next day, mom gave us supper, so I can come back. My mom or my auntie, my auntie Yvonne, would give us supper so I can get back in school, right? So those were the things that were going on. It's just that, we pay homage, to have the discipline of the program made it look like we were, and we really wasn't. It was just that, he had his stuff together.
So, I got a.
So
I got,
so so
well,
Matt,
wait,
I'm
Ray,
I'm
wait,
I'm
Ray.
What you say, brother Ray?
no, I just wanted to share something with y'all. So part of it is, I would say part of it is like what y'all talked about, how St. Aug is, and y'all always see us together in our alumni and brotherhood. So the school itself was real disciplined, but Mr. Hampton, the band was strictly a military style band, okay, and that's what he focused on. And there's a term that he taught us that he got from the military, esprit de corps. And the reason why we are the way that we are, because that means, okay, the spirit of the group. And we always took that in a sense. So really, we wanted to, it was like the same thing that we do now. And then even y'all as band directors, we treat these students like they're our own kids. Okay. And that that's the difference. And if you care about your kid, that's gonna show. And really, what he showed us, to be honest with you, because some of us didn't have father figures. Okay, it was actually about teaching men how to love. Okay, that's actually what it was. So that's what we carry on with us, and that's what we pay forward, and that's what we teach these guys now. It's about being a man, but it's also about people got to know how to love, especially men.
Black men.
I got something I want to ask. Um, I know we talk about Mr. Hampton a lot, but Mr. Watkins, that's Mr. Watkins. And I know Mr. Ray Johnson used to write the music. How important was those? Like, I don't know when Mr. Watkins was there, but I know we talk a lot about Mr. Hampton, but I know also hear Mr. Watkins' name brought up a lot. I hear Ray name brought up a lot. So could we talk about those two? Well, those two individuals. Because I really want to know more about Mr. Watkins because we
Well,
make a joke.
yeah.
We
What do you
make a
say?
joke
What
about
joke is?
we make a joke about y'all arrangements being real long.
Yeah.
So and y'all say it's because of the field tour, which I don't
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I can tell you about Mr. Watkins. I think he started probably late 60s and he was there till the 2000s. And I went to college and Mr. Sam Jackson at Texas Center was the writer. I told him this is the easiest music I've had in my life. Watkins was before his time. Before his time, and like I say, the sheet music was this wide, and most time was for the field show,
Right.
but he wrote everything on the song. You would hear the song, you go home in the car at home and hear it, and you say, I played sax. I said, man, I didn't know that was, but you listen for it because he was in the song. We had Ray wrote. We had Mr. Watkins. Y'all had Mr. Edward Allen. He would write like 2 songs a year too, and he did that. I mean, don't stop till you get enough. Nights by nights. You hear the runs, we was gonna play the runs. So it's different now. But I called him Robin. That was Mr. Ham was Batman, and Watkins was Robin. It just made it clicked, and that what made the band. Because but people don't realize this. Mr. Watkins sold his range to 3-5 other schools, but our part had always had something different. So he would write 4 arrangements. They could have Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, but they wouldn't have of course In the Stone. They would have the first solo trumpet part. Other schools would get that. That's how crazy it was. He wouldn't write the same part for everybody else schools.
Hey, Mr. Watkins used to write the static before the song and after the song.
I have a question for y'all. Did y'all that didn't happen to Kennedy, huh? Because we about to end the whole show. If y'all did that to the cave, it's over. The whole
Y'all did get a
No,
kick
in
I have
all
a question for y'all.
seriousness,
Somebody in the audience just asked something that I want to know. Can y'all name some specific songs Brother Ray and Brother Rockins wrote?
yeah, I wanted to ask that. I had a question.
Yeah, we wanted to know.
Ray, you wrote I Want to Know, huh?
Ray wrote them roster songs, huh?
I Want to Know, Three Little Birds. What else? You something else you wrote when we were there.
Yeah, I did. Rally around the
Ask
flag.
you a
Well,
question,
One.
Mr. Ray. When
you
you
got
heard everybody playing, when you heard everybody playing
Oh,
your
several
arrangements, I
songs.
want to know.
Several songs we did.
Mr. Red, when you heard
What
everybody
is
playing
something
your
specific?
range,
Hold on, man.
Hold on, real quick, Burger.
Hold on. I want
What is
Burger.
something?
Hold up.
Hold
Okay,
on,
I'm
hold on,
post.
man.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Burger
Well,
post
asked
to
us
the,
be
what
cla- the,
honest
album
the
was
with
he
you,
from.
classic in the stone was written by Mr. Watkins. Happy Birthday, the Steve one we played for Martin Luther King was written by
well,
Mr. Watkins. I think every song was written maybe about one
Dr.
or two.
Watkins,
I give
right?
you a funny story. My sophomore year, a guy came from Southern with an arrangement. In 20 minutes, we had learned the song. We know that song never left the band room because it just wasn't up to what we was playing. We laughed at it, really. We never played. Never left the band room. It just, every song from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, except for a couple like Ray
And,
Rose, right, son?
and
But it was Mr. Watkins.
Ray wrote Wild Goose Chase, right? No, Mr. Watkins.
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 and
Watkins.
and
Yep.
and and no,
Say,
no, no. Dr.
say
Watkins
Burger.
was that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Burger. Actually,
yeah,
yeah,
that
Mr.
Trust
Watkins
and
wrote it.
Try,
So
that
peep
Trust
this
and
out. Let me
Try,
just
one of
share
the
this with
best
y'all. So
arrangements
the
I ever
caliber
heard.
students we had were kind of different, but the thing, yeah, John.
oh, I ain't said no.
Yeah, yeah, that Trust
Uh-huh.
and Try, my
Well,
shit,
look,
boy.
1980. Peep this out. So let me show y'all the caliber the way the band was. So we played the whole In the Stone album. Every song on that album, the band played.
Seriously?
Every
Wow,
song. Every song.
man.
That
That
was
was
Man,
a
I
hell of
wish
a
we
album.
had footage of that, man. I would love to hear that.
Hey,
Every
bro.
I
song.
know, huh?
I see
Have
some
y'all
other
had a chance?
legend. I see
Have y'all
some
had a
other
chance to
legendary
listen to the
people on here
72
too.
album?
Coming.
Have y'all ever had a chance to St. Augustine's 72 album live? The album they
Mm-mm.
did in 1972 is live. Every song
Oh, we got to
was written by
post
Mr.
that.
Watkins. Yeah,
Damn.
you
Yeah, we
got.
got to post that.
I got it on CD. I can dub it for y'all. You'll be amazed. Every song was written by Mr. Watkins.
I want to
Hey,
hear it.
Man, let
hey,
me tell you something.
Burger.
We
Ask your
don't talk
people,
about
Burger.
Mr. Watkins enough.
Yeah, we
I
Huh?
don't.
didn't know this brother wrote all of that stuff.
I need Burger to ask this question because I think I
Okay.
know what he's
No, I want to
going.
hear
Okay.
people
Okay.
play your arrangement. I want to know. I can't believe. I know you didn't give these people your shit, so I know they had the story. Like, what was your mind when you heard that?
He talking about who you talking about with band?
Fauché for one, I know damn well he ain't give
Well,
Fauché
I'm
that
gonna
song.
tell you like that.
You gave Fosse a different arrangement. Let's be honest, because
Let me tell you what. Let, let let me tell you what I learned from Dr. Watkins. Let me tell you what I learned from Dr. Watkins. You always write your music different for St. Aug, bro.
did you give Fosse a trumpet part at all? Because I think they took your music and I think they just put their. That's not the same. And you know what? I hear a lot of those brothers say they got it from you and they got it from y'all. It's some tricky notes in there, though, and I'm like,
Yeah, like listening,
I
like
didn't
I didn't
hear.
hear that in St. Aug arrangement. What the fuck is that?
And I know they wouldn't have had the aptitude to know that they was playing the wrong thing. Now, what happened? What happened with that? And
Hey,
did you laugh when you hear them and say, I can't believe they playing that?
oh my
Like, what
God,
happened? Can you break it down for us?
Ray gonna be humble.
He could be humble, but I'm a journalist at this time. I gotta ask this.
Bro,
When you
Ray,
heard them playing
No,
that trumpet
I would.
part
Well,
and that trombone, what you thought?
well.
Ray, what you thought, Ray?
Oh, you can get quiet. We gonna hold the whole show right here. I
No,
want to. Now that I know what
on mute. Your mic
happened,
on mute, Ray.
because
Your mic
they're
on
not
mute,
gonna.
Ray.
Because listen, brother. Ray, there's a lot of backstory to this. I've been telling them for years. I didn't know you was really giving people songs, but they would always say, "Oh no, we got this one from St. L." And I knew it was a dead cat on the line somewhere,
Oh
and now
my.
it's here. So can you please tell us what happened with the trumpet and the trombone part? And I don't think you gave them the same part. You can just wink, can
Ray,
confirm
unmute your
something.
mic.
We got to know.
Ray, unmute your mic.
It sounded like Ray just wrote one chord for everybody and just said give it to them that way. Because it wasn't the St. Aug version. Like, dude, you would hear them bass and
I
you
want to
be
hear what
like,
Ray gotta say. I want to hear what Ray gotta say.
Brother Ray, please answer.
So, but y'all down bad though.
Not
No,
how
I really wanted to. When I saw he wrote, when I heard y'all say he wrote,
Well,
I want to
put
know.
it
I'm
put it
I
like,
want
like
to
God
hear
this.
what
damn.
I want to hear
When
what
we
Ray got to
first played, I want to know y'all. Okay, y'all
say.
y'all
Y'all
know
mute
the
your mic.
impact it had. Well, put it like this. Uh, well, like I told y'all before, that's one of the things that I learned from Mr. Watkins was when you write for different people, you always was it's just like anything, you don't tell your body your secrets. But the thing is this, I had much respect for Mr. Bremer, Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris at 35, and what y'all don't know, y'all probably seen on Facebook. One of my brothers was a drum major for Foshick back in the day. Okay. But the music itself, what they did with it, I don't fault nobody for trying to try. Just like we talking about Dr. Watkins' song. No band will ever sound like St. Aug, bro. I don't care if they play the same song.
No, big bro, I
Never.
don't think you understand. They were the complete antithesis of
Yeah.
what y'all. They were the
Uh
furthest
huh.
thing away. But you know what? We won't go too heavy into that. But I just
Listen.
that
I will go
because
back to
I
when
wasn't
Ray came on the
I
show.
don't
Since Ray
I
was,
didn't want to I didn't want to it to just end right there with it was a little bit different. No, sir. It was night and day.
way
It
different.
was it was night and
Next
typhoon.
week, not in night of
Oh
next
my
week.
God.
But you know
Jesus,
what?
Mary, and Joseph.
Wrong notes
Listen.
Listen,
galore.
But look,
I didn't go to St. Aug. I'm not a
Hold
Josephite.
up, wait,
I was
but
offended
look,
when
look,
I
peep
heard them
this
say
hey,
out.
that.
wait,
So
wait about to talk. Hold up.
right.
So right, no, so I just want to say this, and you guys that's write music and stuff like that and arrange. So when you write for St. Aug, you write for St. Aug. Okay, and just like you got to know what your band is made of for the right form. So even if I was saying, even if they played the same arrangement, okay, they wouldn't sound like that. Okay, because the music was written for the makeup of St. Aug's band.
I'm just happy it was not in the stone or nothing like that. Thank God.
no, brother Ray, I didn't come on here to argue with you. Okay, I didn't come on here for this. But it's
Right, right,
not
right.
that they didn't sound just like St. Aug. They had an inability to do. They couldn't duplicate it. Okay. Now I don't want to get into this, but you pulling this out of me,
Oh,
big bro.
Okay,
man.
all
They
right.
couldn't do it. They couldn't.
Wait,
Wait,
Y'all did it. They couldn't. I'm
excuse,
sorry. Okay, but next
excuse,
question. I'm
I
done with
excuse
it.
wait,
I'm
Matt,
done
Matt.
with it.
Matt,
Excuse Matt,
Matt,
Ray.
all right.
let me say something real quick. Let me say something. Do a little history. I'm not sure a lot of people know Keith, and I know Ray knows it for sure. Rock also. So there was this video that surfaced. Mr. Hampton used to have clinics to teach people on how to do field shows, and so different band directors would come to the schoolyard, and Mr. Hampton would have 8, maybe 12 or 16 seniors or people doing different things. Step 2 drill, step 4, step 1, whatever it is, breakaway, that type of stuff. So when you see other schools trying to look like us on the field, that wasn't because they were really copying. Yeah, they were, but Mr. Hampton was giving clinics, to other schools, junior highs and high schools and whatnot. And there's a video out there that shows, Doc Harris, who we respect a lot because remember, Rock, when we were seniors, Doc Harris was in Alabama all the time. Like he really was, and then he would, come and talk to us and stuff like that. Great, great, great man for sure. We showed him love just as much as he showed us. But you would see Lord Harris, you would see Mr. Richardson, everybody, there, and Mr. Hampton teaching people on how to do field shows. And we talked about it earlier. He was big on shows, right? So I don't know how we left that as a culture now, because a lot of bands now just want to blow loud in the stands and stuff like that, and that drives me crazy. Because it's more than just about being loud in the stands. What do you look like on the field? How disciplined can your band be on the field, right? And so the southern, this idolatry, I guess, just often imitated duplicate type of thing is so big in our city right now. People trying to be so much like Southern, they forget, to really, really, to be a good stand band and a good field band. So Keith, Ray, or whatnot, y'all want to elaborate on that. Mr. Hampton did a lot for the community as far as teaching them really how to be good band directors.
And that's the difference. I tell everybody from the late 70s and all through the 80s, we played 3-5. If you played Fosse, you played Kennedy, even Booker T, everybody went on the field and had an entertaining field show. That I don't, like I said, I don't know how we got away from different times, but how we got away from just staying in the stands and blow. We wanted to go on the field. Everybody 3-5 would go on the field. They would do their funk train. That's John Mack going on the field. They would do their funk train, and it was just people went to the game to see the halftime shows, just like in college. And I don't know how we got away from that, because that was it. All bands went on the field. You had to go on the field. You bet not. If you don't go on the field, you bet not stay in the stand. You better go on the field. You might not.
So was opposing bands putting on field shows better than Sound?
Never. It couldn't do that. Never.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Yeah. I'm not about to go get him on the field anyway. So if we're not about to outdo y'all on the field, I ain't even about to go down there myself.
Nah, but it's a concept.
But different mentality. He was really good on the field.
But I tell him, when we played G5, Tag Gordon, the whole stadium was full, so you had to go on the field. You had, I mean, literally from one horseshoe all the way around was 25,000 people. You weren't staying in the stands. Like you said, you YouTube some of 80 shows, and they did good. They did progression and everything, but they couldn't do what we do because we were just different. We was built different. That's what happened with the school.
So, Mr. Wallace, I heard you say that Kennedy was putting on some great field shows. Was they smashing y'all with them?
No. So
yeah, that's why.
So Kennedy did good on the field. So Doc was a really good band. They weren't better than us at all. There was a battle bands in 1988. You can look at it. The K showed up for it, and actually did a really good show. 35 was third, right? And we came second with some crazy Brother Martin crap. But the K really did some good shows because Doc Harris, he was pretty disciplined, especially with the band. They weren't killing us with it because, like he said, we were different. But we respected Kennedy to the fact that they went on the field every time they saw us, right? And they put on a decent show. Same thing with 35 and and those type of schools. Nowadays, you go to Sound game, they don't only band going on the field. And the other bands got a nerve to talk about how good they are. They're not even touching the field. They don't know what 5-4 cycle is. So
wait, let me interject something. That's why they call it marching band. Not stand still, play as loud as you can band.
You better preach, Rock.
Band.
You better preach, man.
These old motherfuckers.
Say, bro, I'm gonna tell you.
You better preach.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Rock. I be saying about field shows like I'm the bad guy in this generation when I talk about field shows. Like people don't want to look at the whole. We talk about battles and all this shit, but I be saying something about field shows. And I get attacked. I didn't heard some guys who deal with band say that field shows is not even important. How can you go to Southern University?
Now, if you heard somebody say that, then you ought to expose them. Whoever said that needs to be exposed.
Johnny, for anybody to tell you that, don't even hold a conversation with them.
That's not a director. If he told you that,
I'm telling you, what they say.
That's crazy because, like, on the real, like I said, when I got to Texas Southern, we had Fosse, we had Kennedy, we had John Mack, St. Aug, old Perry Walker. We laughed. They would take 2 hours to learn a step 2. Like, how you don't know a step 2, dude? Like
that's quick.
And Oklahoma. We like, how you don't know how to do a step 2, a 5-year full cycle? This is a pinwheel. Come on, dude. And we would just laugh. We're like, man, that's what made us different. And that's why
you know what?
College bands hated St. Aug guys. Because we like, check all day. Right. And we learned 5 minutes at St. Aug.
Let me tell a true story real quick. Let me tell a true story. All right, so we're talking about band fact, right? So our crab year at Southern, and this is the truth. You can ask anyone. Our crab year at Southern.
I'm sorry, Brother Wallace. I hate to interrupt you. There's no such thing as a crab. We don't condone any kind of.
Y'all say crabs on this show.
any kind of
But our
initiation processes at
our
any
freshman
band.
year,
We just
our
had to get
freshman
that out the
year.
way.
Yeah,
Thank you. Our freshman year at Southern, rocking out fall '92. Freshman year at Southern. Okay, we good. All right, good. Freshman year at Southern. Doc was trying to teach us field show practice, right? And he finally gave a true story. He said, "You know what? Give me 4 people from San All. Give me 4 people from San All, so I can show you how to do the field show." This was the entire week, right? 4 of us. The entire week showing everyone how to do certain things that Doc wanted to learn. He even asked us to teach him how to do minstrel turns. He said, "Okay, you remember what y'all did this particular show? Show us how to do this, right?" This is a true story. And like he said, at Southern, if we wanted to learn a new show, we had to start the week before for the next week field show. Another week before. At Sun All, we learned the field show in a day, and a half a day of that type of stuff. And the rest of the week, we were fine tuning the show. When I was on the yard, if we wanted to learn a show for next week, we'll do this week's show and we'll start next week's show, right now. And that's how long it took for us to learn field shows. And that's how great Mr. Hampton was. Because all he had to do was give us orders. I want a 5-yard, 15-yard, half cycle, 10-yard full cycle, and a 2-3-1 order. Step 2. 1, 2, 3, 3 march. And we knew exactly what to do. Exactly.
Thinking man's game, man. It's thinking man's game.
You know what's so crazy about that, bro? A lot of people, I get ridiculed because I went to Aberson, but I knew like Mr. Foy really taught us how to do field shows. Like I knew how to do a complete field show my senior year in high school. Like, and that's the same thing y'all saying. Like, I know a bunch of St. Aug guys could put a field show together when they was in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I do I'd be happy because I know a lot of cats that didn't even have those experience on the field like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, see how some of that stuff y'all talking? A lot of people lost. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people lost, like the cycles and full cycles, half cycles. A lot of people lost about it. You know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna say they lost, but they lost.
Burger.
But you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm lost, and I know I'm lost.
Oh,
But guess what?
I ain't know what you're talking
I ain't
about.
about to let y'all lie on me. I'm lost, and I know I'm lost.
I was talking
I'm
about
gonna piggyback
Birdie.
on what you just said. I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said. Some high schools, Eddie knows the field shows from all veterans, and he said some guys will come to him. I ain't gonna give no names of band members, and they say, "Well, I tell them go 16 steps forward, 16 steps back, 16 step up," and Eddie would say, "Man, that's a 10-yard full cycle. What are you talking about? you tell the person go 16 up, come 16 back, go 16 up, come 16 back. That's a 10-yard full cycle. So make the terminology easy."
Yeah,
like why to say,
hey, let me ask y'all a question about, because I deal with I knew a lot of people from all, and I'm always a big advocate for St. Aug and field shows. I will put them up against any band from anywhere. A lot of cats from SWD, and they swear by Jesus that they would have tore y'all ass up on the field. And they had a big argument with some alumni of SWD, some old ones, some young ones. They said they watch y'all field shows, and y'all field shows weren't good compared. What would y'all say to them?
Well, for me personally, I lived in Atlanta, so I know about SWD. I would get fights with all that, and I tell them, okay, SW, they FAMU. All the people they FAMU, so that's their style. That's just East Coast style. That's just like we've had people going from St. Aug to FAMU that didn't last but 1 or 2 years because they just didn't like the style, music and field show wise. FAMU sake they booed on the national anthem, so that's just their style. So it's just different. That's the way it is.
But you know how you saying that? The terminology at Southern is different though too. From what you just said, you see how you just said the 4 months 16 to the real 16. That's how the terminology at Southern is, just like how I just said it. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy because I think I don't know the only school y'all. I think St. Aug may be the only school that use the terminology for the cycles. I may be wrong, but I know a lot of the stuff when I was at 8 was like 4 March 8 to the real 8 to the real 8, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Even at Southern, that's how it was.
And you're right. And when we got to Southern, like you said, I didn't know that type of terminology. So that's why it took forever for us to learn shows. We'll go 5 forward, 16 back, 8 forward. That's a 5-yard full cycle, right? And he didn't know that. not bashing on Doctor, just that he didn't have that foundation that Mr. Hamp had on the field show. And I tell anybody, besides showmanship, drilling wise, you can't mess with St. Augustine. Drilling wise, Southern's really good with the showmanship type of stuff. But you talking about drilling, precision drilling, we're out drilling
Hey,
any man.
hey, which one of y'all asked about Southwest DeKalb just now?
That was
Bird.
me.
Okay, Berg, I'm gonna tell you this. There was a battle of the bands at Tad Gorman in 2004, in the fall of 2004. St. Aug was in it and Southwest DeKalb was in it. Just pull that up, and you'll see the difference. You see the difference.
Man,
Drilling as
y'all, what you say?
drilling as opposed to shaking your ass the whole show.
Yep, plain and simple. But you know what? Y'all speak of field shows and high schools not doing it. Um, I have so many partners. I live in Dallas. I live away like Heath. I think Wallace is out. Well, I live in Louisville, suburb of Dallas, but Wallace is out this way as well. But
Hey, matter of fact, Bert, before you say
we
anything,
meet.
let's pray for those people in Dallas because they had
Oh
some stuff
yeah,
going on.
Yeah,
too
most
bad.
definitely, most
Go ahead, Matt.
definitely.
My
Yeah.
bad. I just want to say that. Go ahead, Matt.
Nah, it was wild, man. They had 101 car pile up. But
That's
that's
like,
because these people out here can't drive. Wallace can attest to that as well. They can't drive a lick, but it's all good. Um, but I have so many partners that I play music with that went to, and this is shameful, but they get to college and they went to school with dudes from the NO, and they be like, man, these dudes didn't know basic field show commands. I mean, like basic. They'd be like, man, it was cats that came from New Orleans that had to go stand on the side for the first 2 weeks because they had never did a field show. I was blown away by that. I mean, man, anybody that went to Kennedy with us, man, we went on the field and did a badass field show like every week. I mean, we was like, yo, man, that thing was together in like a day. The rest of the week, we just fine tuned it. Like to hear cats say nowadays, that it's not important. And let me say this: I heard somebody say that too.
thank you.
Johnny is not. I heard a band director say going on the field is not important. It might be. It's got to be the same, bro. Two band directors, but one of them got to be the same cat. And
What
I'm
school they
like,
went
Rock,
to?
man, it's wild.
What
I
school
tell
they
y'all
went to?
offline. I'll tell y'all offline, but on the
I wish I
real,
knew.
because
I would have said it on here.
well, this ain't that kind of show. But I'm speaking to their point.
Nigga,
Bro, we trying to
No,
be
I
respectful,
would have just normally did it. I really would have. But
I
man,
wish I
y'all are
knew.
so right on that, man. And like we living in a day and age because of what y'all saying.
bro.
Band students from New Orleans are being discounted because they're like this an ignorant bunch. They like they add a lot of spice to your band, but when you, as y'all said, when you need them to think, you got cats getting frustrated on the film and they're doing pinwheels, and you like like that's nothing.
that's
I
how I feel like an
mean,
all-star
Hey, I
band.
did pinwheels in junior high at Gregory.
That's how I felt an
Hmm.
all-star band, dog.
pinwheels. I mean, like y'all know that is like a nothing. I mean, it looks nice, but you. I mean, I think
Not complicated.
That's why I say
Once
no game watching y'all All Star band because they didn't want to be a part of that nigga band.
Hey, I don't want to talk about the all-star, but I can tell you, I was frustrated at being on the field at all-star band. Not
I
to
mean,
know.
all of them schools don't do it, and that is a fact. That concept has been abandoned. Okay, let me. I hate to switch subject, but I gotta ask this.
Hey, we gotta. Before you get your question, man, we got a request. We want to hear St. Aug play in the Stone. Ronald Griffin have a request to hear 1994 in the Stone by the St. Augustine marching band.
Purple Nights.
It's 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Hey, Johnny, the audio not great, brother. Hey, Johnny. The audio not great, brother. We got the yeah. The audio wasn't great on that one.
Oh, I heard it pretty decent, bro.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You on
It
your
wasn't the
phone?
audio. My phone and a laptop. The audio wasn't great. I mean, they saying it in the whatchamacallit. It was. I
I
mean,
heard it
I
pretty
heard
good.
the. Okay.
Look, nobody wasn't coming to see you. You was a color guard.
Oh, that's cool, brother. Hey, yo, I'm gonna tell you something. Though. St. Aug had my favorites.
But
I love their color guard.
Matt, to be honest about In the Storm, I do Watkins Road.
My bad.
When I listen to it and I hear
That's
College
what I
Band
said,
play
Lil
it,
Rock. I heard it loud and clear.
yeah,
Everybody else saying they heard it.
I'm like, they're missing some parts. When you hear College Band play it, I'm like, they're missing some parts. It's crazy. Even now, it was written in 1979, and I'm like, they're missing some parts when you hear College Bands play it. It's like
Wow.
they actually had a first trumpet part and the first solo trumpet part on that thing, and it was a block long.
Okay, Johnny, run it back. They said they could hear it. My bad.
What I was telling you, I heard it pretty good.
All right, run it back.
You hear them damn trumpets slicing through? I gotta remember to ask these fellas a question before they leave. I've been having this question in my head all night.
Oh Lord.
You know it. Lord, what is Johnny doing?
Johnny, ain't no audio on this time. Is my okay?
Let me run it back a little.
Clean as a whistle. Beautiful.
He did cover a lot of parts.
Man, like that was a lot
Yeah.
going on in that arrangement. I always said that.
And guess what? He did it
I
by pen
was
and paper. He ain't had no computer. Straight pen and paper.
was that a shot, Johnny?
Huh? I'm just telling you. That's a total. You gotta. It's a. I don't want a comment because we could get into old school, but I'm telling you, it's a different when you got to write it from pen and paper than a computer. It's a
Yeah,
big difference.
100%.
Hey, can we get crushed before the show ends? I do want to hear crush.
Oh wait, Matt had a question before we about to go.
I did. Hey Johnny, you got uh you got to switch the audio back to the whatchamacallit. Can y'all hear?
You good?
Uh,
Yeah.
okay,
I can
cool.
hear you.
Okay, so there's a really popular percussionist around town that went to St. Aug, and he's my brother, and I won't call his name because so many people know this dude, but he always tells a story of how in the ninth grade when he was about to meet Mr. Hampton, he was so nervous until his legs were shaking because he had heard the story and his voice was shaky. Truth be told, he'll admit in private that he was probably about to have a panic attack because he was just so nervous when he first met him. So for you brothers, if y'all were meeting a ninth grade student, a young eighth grader, ninth grader that was about to meet Mr. Hampton for the first time, what advice would y'all give him? He was super nervous about meeting him. What would you tell him?
Breathe. Breathe. I put it to you like this. The first time I met him, when I was first trying to go to St. Aug in the 87, I was in 8th grade, because he was so much like my daddy, it didn't bother me. Matter of fact, he and my daddy played music together back in the day. So I mean, it did. I was impressed because I'm like, man, that's St. Aug band director. But I mean, I wasn't nervous. But I mean, I have seen dudes kind of like almost shaking, almost being around him, like little young dudes being around him, like, oh my God, this man is band Jesus for real. Not this one, but that's band Jesus for real.
Yeah, when I first met
Picture
him,
Rock. Picture Rock said back in the day. It is really back
yeah,
in the day.
yeah, he was in the 7th grade in '84. You know, when I
How
first
about
met him,
yourself? How about yourself, Wallace? What
we,
advice would you give a youngster that's about to meet him?
I would say go talk to him. Go talk to him. When I first met him, I think the shoe shop called Delarose or something like that over there by Clark. My cousin
Berg
Emmanuel
and Johnny,
Hudson.
y'all mute your phones?
Okay, yeah. My cousin Emmanuel Hudson. He and I went down the street to the shoe store, and lo and behold, I'm thinking in the 7th grade, Mr. Hampton was in there. I'm like, oh my God, that goes San Jose's band director, Mr. Hampton. And so my cousin like, hey, go talk to him, right? I say, hey, Mr. Hampton, I'm coming to San Jose hopefully next year. If not, I'll be up when I'm in 10th grade or not. And I told him, I said, I like to tribute to Bob Marley. And he did this. He said, doo, 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 doo. He did the little chorus thing. And I'm like, man, that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I saw, like Rock said, like I saw Jesus would not, right? And so I would say just go talk to him because he's going to treat you with respect. He's going to talk to you. He's going to talk back to you. And, he'll say, hey, I can't wait to see you. So just don't be nervous. Talk to him.
Well, what my thing I was telling ninth grader going there with Mr. Hampton that discipline. If he like I said, when you walk through that door, he told you he was gonna be your mama and your daddy, and you didn't know what he was gonna use. So if you just don't be late, and when he said be quiet, damn it, that's be quiet. That was it. So he was straight and fair. But if you talk or did something wrong, consequences. That's it.
How about yourself, brother Ray? What advice would you give a young man about to meet Mr. Hamp, about to join the band for the first time?
Unmute your mic, Ray. Ray be talking.
Still muted.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
You
you
got it?
unmuted now, big bro.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Well, I would say the same thing that the other guy said. It's just like just be yourself, but you have to understand the era that we came up in. I was gonna say this earlier. True band heads, if you a true band head, you actually have respect for all the bands. But Mr. Hampton was like our Michael Jordan as a band director. So just imagine you meeting Michael Jordan. So in that sense, all right. So but young kids, just like now, you guys as band directors, you got that little 8th grader, 7th grader. Okay. It's not so much about the person, it's about the program that they see. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So Mr. Hampton to us was a band god because of what we saw St. Aug do. So when you got to see the man behind the curtain, like the Wiz, when you got to see the man behind the curtain, you saw he was a normal man. But his genius is what set him apart.
Mr. Ray, while you still talking, I wanted to ask you, if you was
Hey,
around St. Aug of old and you're around St. Aug of new, what is some of the similarities and some of the differences you see in just both eras?
Good question.
boy, Ray could tell y'all. I know that.
All right. What's the question?
I said you were around St. Aug of old and now you're around St. Aug of new. You're around both of them. I wanted to know some similarities between both eras and differences in both bands.
Mhm.
Since you around both and you're around current now.
Well, I mean, it's always gonna be the discipline piece. You know, Saint Aug is always gonna set the discipline. Now we're dealing with a different generation of kids. Okay, so it's really what you put back up in the program. Okay, now I'm gonna give a shout out to all the guys that preceded me. You know, I got much love for them. Okay, much love for Eddie Williams, Virgil Tiller, Darryl Fields, all of them, because they all products from St. Augustine. All right. But the thing is this: the foundation of St. Augustine will always be St. Augustine. Okay. Now you're gonna have great Kennedys, okay, great Abe's, great John Max, all that stuff like that, because they have other band directors that's also great. Okay. But there would never, in any place, anywhere, be a band that's matched with St. Augustine.
Hey, Burger,
Never.
I
Hey,
just want to comment.
oh,
I just want to comment on that. We just I moved back home in July 2019, and so I started helping out the band, and it's just different. Like we was in a band, people came from Gregory. Now they're coming from Catholic schools and just learn how to play the instrument. Like people want to know why they don't play in the song, why they don't play nights by nights. The old music, the musicianship has changed. Like first day I asked them, I say, who came to St. Aug to be great? Couple of dudes raised their hand. I said, well, you ain't came to St. Aug to be great. You came to the wrong fucking band. Cause that's just the way our mentality was. So you go down, you literally go down every song. One person, we sit there all day. One person would have to play a whole song, the whole band. And if Mr. Allen said, or you might do go from first trumpet to third trumpet in one song. And that's just our mentality was. One story, and I'm gonna let it go. I was standing by Eddie one day. First day of summer band practice. He said, go to your sectionals. One guy just stood there. Eddie said, why you not moving? I don't play an instrument, Mr. Eddie. And I'm standing like, what? He said he just wanted to be in the band. So I think Eddie had to teach him an instrument. But back in the days, that's how it changed. The guy just said he wanted to be the band. He showed up, didn't play an instrument or nothing. You know, it's crazy. It just has changed over the years. You know, it's just changed.
I look
Man,
at
let me
that
tell you
hey,
kind of
something.
different. I
I
look
miss.
at that
Wait, I gotta say
situation.
this. I gotta say this because I don't want this to get lost. You saw how Keith said, if you're not here to be great, you're in the wrong fucking band. I miss that old school fire. Y'all saw that? When we be hard on when these youngsters get in my inbox and say I'm too hard on them, I say mean stuff about modern day bands, and this is all of them.
As three
I
drummers, you
miss
got
that,
Matt.
man. I miss
Hey,
that.
Matt, you got three drummers: Wireless, Rock, and you. I tell everybody, the best part of St. Summer Band, 60 guys going out for 20 spots. We ain't had 10 cymbals, 10 snares, 60 guys going out for 20 spots. They can't, the whole band came to practice at 8. The drummers came to practice at 10. At 12 o'clock, they closed the doors and they had practice. And no drum teacher. And I tell you, I done seen people cry. I done seen people just walk out because they didn't make them 20 spots. You know, they might hold a the broom box.
So,
And it was
so
crazy.
you trying to tell me that it's dudes that was standing on the side like this while
Yeah.
everybody was on the drum?
60
Yeah,
Say,
guys
I'm
going out for
yeah.
20 spots. Once again, we ain't
say,
had
I,
10
I,
cymbals, 10 snare drummers, 6 bass drummers, 6 tenors, 20 spots. And that was it. 60 guys. Sometimes
Guess
hey,
70.
what?
Rock. Rock and Wallace, y'all went to top tier schools. Y'all know what it is to see dudes that try to make it when you marching in and see them on the side by the gate looking like I should have stayed. I should
That's what
I
I done went
should
straight
I
out
should
of
have
trumpet.
I should have hung
St.
in there.
Long ain't turned down no trumpet players. Put me on trumpet. I'll
Hey,
make this drum line. Put
look,
me on trumpet.
I've been trying to talk, but I want to talk about. I know y'all was talking about Charlie Kirk when y'all met like before as Mr. Ham. But like I was saying earlier, Ray Johnson actually brought Mr. Ham. I don't know if I was an assistant band director at prep. I don't know if I was in my first year at college prep. But I was real young. I've been in the game for 15 years now. But when Mr. Hampton walked through the door, because Mr. Wilson was like, Mr. Hampton about to come, I'm like, for real? And I'm like, I'm dressed right. Like I'm trying to get ready because I'm like, I gotta make sure, because I ain't gonna lie, when I met Doc Harris just come at you. Like he'd be like this. So man, Mr. Hap came in there. Man, Mr. Hap came in there. I asked him one question, and I remember this. Ray set him down because he was like, I think he had just gotten, I don't remember, but Ray had set him down, and Mr. Ham just talked for like an hour, 2 hours, and we just soaked up the knowledge. Like Mr. Wilson just soaked up the knowledge, like, and I'm just sitting here in eyes of like this man really talking to him. The crazy thing is like the stuff he say is so meaningful at that. Like it's just so meaningful. It's like you may have heard somebody else say it, but when Mr. Hamp said it just sounds so much better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was one of my, if somebody ever asked me what's one of my best moments as a band director, I would be like meeting Mr. Hamp at Xavier Prep that day.
Let me tell you a fact y'all may not know. Yeah. And so, Wilbert Rawlins, Mr. Rawlins, did you know he studied under Hamp for about a half a year, maybe a summer when that? He was trying to be Sun's band director. He and I worked together at the Home Depot at the time. And Will used to come back, he was just like everybody else. Like, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to go talk to him. I said, man, just go talk to him. When Will was fascinated that you could do half cycles and full cycles in the same show, right? Not saying he could really have some type of foundation with Dr. Harris, but he was taught by Mr. Hampton also, so and you can ask him, Will Rollins was a Hamp student, as an adult after he left Southern.
That's a bit of history right there, man. I
Before
didn't I
y'all
didn't even
get
know that.
off of here, it wouldn't be me if I didn't ask you fellas, all four of y'all on this show, out of all y'all years at St. No, what band did y'all love to sit across from and wax that ass when y'all saw them? I gotta ask y'all this.
And
What
for
band
me,
did y'all enjoy wagging ass
Yeah,
every time
Rock.
y'all?
Yeah, Rock.
in my era,
Brother Mo.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the Kennedy game the most.
you enjoy waxing the ass.
35, 35 had a, 35 was still, but Mr. Harris was still at 35 when Wallace and I were in school. Well, really, when all four of us was in school. So 35 still had a little something.
So you
But
enjoy waxing the ass too? That's the question. That's the question. I heard you say Kennedy at 35. I just wanted to
I,
know.
Boy, Matt
I,
about to tell you up, Burger.
Boy, he
I
trying to
really
hold it in. I see him. He trying to hold it in.
always look forward to that Kennedy game when we were in school.
I got you.
Rock, you ever took an L?
You ever took an
Nah, I'm
L to
not gonna
say
lie to
no?
you. Hey
Kennedy?
yo, it was actually mutual though, man. We like seeing you. Honestly, I like seeing everybody we got to see. Like
No,
I'll
no,
talk stuff,
I ain't
but
talking all this nice shit. I want to know,
Rock, you ever took an L?
did you take an
Talk about
L? Any of
personally.
y'all take an L to Kennedy?
No. And say
Did any of
no.
y'all take an L to Kennedy?
I would say I put it like this. On the field, I
Oh.
mean, on the field, I ain't never took an L on the field at St. Aug.
We talked about that
My
earlier. Did you
my
take a
South,
L in the band
I
to
think
Kennedy?
this is my opinion. When we played in my sophomore year, they only had like 5 songs, I'm serious. They only had like 5 songs, but in my opinion, they were a little bit more crisp, than we were for that game. Now parade season, no, parade season. Say no, we've been another level parade season back then.
So that's one L. You out of how many times you saw them? when you
Yeah,
was in
Robin
school?
trying to. Oh, yeah, yeah.
This
All
I'm
man
right,
not
keep
even
Mr.
going.
Key.
talking.
I'm not even going to indulge this. I'm staying positive
All
this
right,
show.
Mr. Key. It's on you,
Well,
bitch.
like I said, in my era, Kennedy wasn't on the map. So it was John Mack. We never worried about 3-5. John Mack was our rival. And
I did hear good things about Eddie's John Mack, though.
in 4 years, the Ferret Parade, of course, was the big thing back in my era. And John Mack won in 1982. I'm not gonna lie. That was the only year they beat us. They had 24 trombones. Their favorite song was March Grandioso. And when they came around the corner playing March Grandioso, you just had to be shocked. So John Mack was our rival, but I'm gonna make y'all laugh. My era, we didn't go to parades to battle high schools. We wanted something. That's just how it was. My ninth grade year, we battled Southern on Chapatulas. We blew SOS. They turned around. Doc made them turn around. They blew Soul Train is coming, and that was a wrap. So, so I'm just saying but John Mack was our rival. When we went to parades, football games, even battle the bands, we wanted Southern to beat us. Like I said, Rock was that what? That was 91 when it was Southern. And if they had it was after the game battle, but you sweat St. All just wax something. But it was just that was our mentality. We wanted to go at something.
I heard a St. Aug alumni say that they smashed Southern, and I'm happy that
No,
you just said it
no.
was a rap after that, because some of these dudes be lying. Talking about they
Big
whack.
dog,
Come on, man.
That's grown men,
I
dog.
saw a guy when I went to Texas and heard that band. I said, "Ain't no way these grown men gonna let no high school. It's different. You know, if you didn't go to college and play in a badass band, you can't compare college and high school. Grown men."
Right, right.
Right, Mr. Wallace.
All right. So my deal is I'll go with 1991. I agree with Rock. I enjoyed the Kennedy game more than I enjoyed the rest of the games because we had a lot of from Bell Rockman to Gregory. We had a lot of people that we went to school with that were at Kennedy. Kennedy, as far as the drummer, had a lot of principal drummers. Not saying 35 didn't, because 35 has some powerful drummers for sure. But I remember this in 1991. Kennedy played "Stepping Out." And why did they do that? Right, and give you some history. We played 3 reggae songs in a row on Kennedy, right? And it was a wrap after that, right? Literally, it was ugly in the third quarter, and we waited on "Stepping Out" for
They
sure.
sat
As
down.
soon as they played it,
sat down until the end of
we
the
started.
fourth.
We started cheering, right?
But they don't want to
wrote
talk
off
Just
three
about.
reggae
waxing
songs.
Kennedy. I'm
A
talking about
tribute to
just
Bob Marley.
waxing them. Oh my
I'm sorry.
gosh.
Can y'all mute your phones while you're talking? I really can't hear him.
Yeah.
I really can't hear
Let
him.
me go. Yeah.
I mean, they were
So
just murdering Kennedy. I'm sorry.
hold on.
Dang.
Let me finish. Yeah. So it tribute to Bob Marley. It was "Stepping Out" and "Wild Blue Shakes. And we played those songs, like 3 in a row, right? And so I remember that for sure. And then later on that year, so we played Kennedy that year, and so it was the Mid-City Parade. We on the street, the kids on the neutral ground, like to our left, literally to our left. My best friend Johnny Petit, who was a drum major, and we turned to our right. Kennedy turned to their left, so we were back to back. We played what is that? 2001 Odyssey, and
We
Kennedy
played in the
warmed up,
Stone.
and
We
then we
played
played
in
in
the
the Stone.
Stone.
It was perfect, right? The K went to play, and Kennedy went to play
Them bases.
right? Doc made Johnny cut the band off, and it wasn't even a clean cutoff. That was an ugly L Kennedy took that day. Again, we respect Kennedy for sure, but that day, that year, that football game in parade season, we dominated. And so, to give props, the 90 band, the 90 Kennedy band was really good, but 91, it was ugly. It was St. Old dominance the entire year. And like I said, we look forward to playing Kennedy. So reggae songs and Mid-City was no contest. No contest. True story. I don't care
None.
what anybody said.
So what
Right.
I got from all 3 of y'all was no matter the era, y'all didn't give a shit about Forte.
But my dog,
I ain't gonna do that.
Darrell, man, that man Matt actually used to
Listen,
fight too.
this wasn't even about Kennedy, because I hear Forte cats, old school Forte cats, like talk some serious smack. So it's funny that everybody keeps saying Kennedy, and I heard of John Mack from the 80s, which I heard a lot of great things about John Mack from the 80s.
But
And I heard nobody.
Yeah. in my era, folks had never made it past Lee Circle because they played second all the way down. I'm really serious. They started at Napoleon to all the uptown people. They played Lil Liza Jane all the way to Lee Circle.
Bruh.
I'm serious. That's what they played. They
like,
the same people.
but
Yeah,
show
folks
the
said,
respect to have
brother, you gotta get ready.
Oh,
Hey, for the videos, they come out for the Parade Parade. That was their biggest thing. Go down for the Parade Parade. That's all they had.
But to show the respect that for Kennedy, doing what was that, the Vegas parade, Tuesday night parade, we would follow the K, during the parade, and if they'll win the parade or whatnot, sometimes they'll beat them or not. But it was, I follow Kennedy the entire parade, so we had mutual respect for sure. It's just that we got it for Kennedy when we were in school for sure. And 91 was that year. You have those years, like 95 was Kennedy's year, right?
94, 95. Let me say this: they trying to instigate some stuff. Trust me, I get where y'all coming from. Let me also say this though: it's a brother. Oh, give me 1 second. It's a brother on here, Craig Jones. If you say one more thing about me, I'm going to go on your page and look at pictures of you and I'm going to fire you up. I don't want you to think because I'm being cool on this show that I'm cool. I will go and find pictures of you and post them and rib you for about an hour. Don't play with me. Now let's get back to the positivity because that's what I'm trying to be.
Man, and you did tell Darrell muted his phone. He never muted his phone either, man.
What I'm getting out of it, because I want Matt to get what I'm getting out of it. As I'm hearing that St. Aug was just murdering Kennedy back in the day, was following them, playing 3 songs and making them
That's
sit
not
down.
even what the brother said. It
was bad, man.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
Don't do that, Darrell. Don't do that, bro.
Let him say what he got.
There was no disrespect to Kennedy.
He's about to start a whole war for them.
It was just that you guys were our biggest rival at the time, and we got up to play y'all. I don't care what anybody say. People like, hey, the St. Aug guys, like you say, be lying sometimes. We got up to play Kennedy. Doing those Kennedy weeks, and
it was mutual. Brother, you don't have to explain that. I know where you're coming from. That's them being. Listen, I could say stuff about their schools, but I'll refrain. Like I would say something. I would say something like, if his band came to the 90s, they wouldn't even be like 6th best. But I won't say it because this is not. I would say stuff like, they look stupid when they march down the street because they don't even pick up their feet. They lack pride and they look dumb and you know what? That's not what kind of show this is. What we're talking about on this show is we honor Mr. Hampton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the great St. Aug was doing Kennedy bad. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, that's what that
I'm not
man
gonna do
asked him
it.
in the question,
I'm not gonna do
answered it, and he said specifically,
Matt,
quote, they played 3 reggae songs back to back, and Kennedy sat down.
Don't let none of these dudes that was born in the 90s and early 2000s.
I don't even entertain them. Listen, I'm being real with you. We talking about.
I'm not on that type of time. I've been chilling.
Hey, Rock. I see a lot of people from 3-5 in here talking, like in the comments, kind of talking that stuff like, I don't know, even the drum section, even talking about.
I did hear that 35 had a great band in the 80s, though. I heard that as well. I won't lie about that.
Hey, bro, I respect Mr. Lloyd Harris. I have the utmost respect for Lloyd Harris, Mr. Lloyd Harris.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Wait, I'm sorry, I got into because I'm gonna forget this. Was concert band a big deal at St. Aug? Like, did y'all have?
Yeah, I know that.
I'm talking about in the 80s and the 90s that y'all it was a concert. What was some piece? Can y'all mute your phones? I'm sorry if you got somebody kid is I can't hear.
Man, jazz band too. Jazz band was big at St. Aug too.
St. Aug had a jazz band?
Yeah,
stage band.
Oh, I definitely did. What are some pieces? Can y'all remember any pieces? Any like concert band pieces y'all played?
Bruh. I remember. Oh God, that was so damn long ago.
You asking that man to go back to 15 BC and remember songs from 15 BC.
You're right. The theme from Logo. Remember Rock? We played the theme from Logo. Look that up for sure.
From Largo, yeah. Theme from Largo, yeah.
Yes.
Beowulf. Remember Bill? We played
Beowulf.
Beowulf.
What is that other movie?
Civil War
We played this
Fantasy.
score. Yeah, Civil
Civil
War
War
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
What's the other one?
West Side
But
Story.
also with the
Exactly. What's that
with
story?
the
We played that too. We played West.
with our concert band, the concert we gave every year had a theme to it. So we played some class, traditional concert band, but it always had a theme to it. So we had
Mm-hmm.
other songs we would play, and like I say, we had a stage band. We went to the Jazz Fest. We played at the Jazz Fest every year. It was 3 phases: marching
Who
band,
would
stage
who
band,
would
all that.
who would rehearse y'all concert band? Who would go over the concert pieces?
Mr. Hamp.
So
That was Mr. Hap. That was
Yeah.
Mr. Hap.
he was hands on with that. Okay.
Literally
Nobody
hands
else.
on. Literally.
Yeah, literally hands on. He was violent for sure. It was,
Play something wrong. Literally.
Hey, this gonna be my last question. I promise. When y'all were at St. Aug, did y'all have a time to get out of band practice, or y'all rehearsed till it was finished?
Till it was right.
Wow.
This man used to tell us sometimes, like he'll tell you, bring bus fare because your bus ticket is gonna be expired sometimes.
Yep.
Depending on. Hey, when we did the Super Bowl my sophomore year. We had 2 practice sessions after school. I'm gonna say it again. We had 2 practice sessions after school. We did parade practice up until like 5 o'clock. He let us go to go get something to eat. He told us be back to school for like 6:30 or whatever. 7 o'clock, the buses that'll bring us to the Rivergate. Do y'all even know what the Rivergate is? Okay.
All time.
The Rivergate is where Harris Casino is.
Yep.
We used to practice at the Rivergate with the practice our Super Bowl show at the Rivergate with those dancers and everything. We wouldn't get home till some of us. I stayed in the 7th Ward, so I got home at a decent time. But like them dudes that live way across the river and way in the east, some dudes get home 10, 11 o'clock every night and have to be to school the next morning. But I mean, that's what it was, dude.
Shout out to Frank Lewis. That's another St. Aug alum. But I gotta ask y'all a question. He said Mr. Hamp had the concert band and Mr. Bloom had the jazz band. Okay. That's about John. That's what Bloom that is. That's the one I asked about earlier.
No, Carl Bluen.
Okay. What key? What you talking about? Ask about the key. What the key you talking about?
Hey, I heard one of y'all speak on I think it was I don't know your name, but you spoke on Rollins having a lot of respect for Hamp. You know, when I was in a band, I came up on the Rollins, and he used to come and talk about those moments that he would go and speak with Mr. Hamp and go to practice. He'd go to St. Aug practice on a week that we about to play St. Aug, just to go and speak with him and go get like some of that knowledge so he can come back to us and give us some of that nutrient, you know. So that I could speak to some of that respect that he had for him, you know, and some of the things he said, you know, I was listening to y'all while I was at work. Some of the things y'all was saying, all used to say it to us, and you know, I could kind of, you know, take some of that of what y'all was saying, you know, just off of what Rollins, what Rollins took from him. So that's big, that's major, man.
Brother, that's the name. I'm glad you said that, brother, because I'm glad you were able to say that. A lot of people don't know that Mr. Hamp tutored Rollins, and you know, and he used to say the same thing. You know, he was just shocked that Mr. Hamp was ready to teach him, even though he went to Kennedy and he went to Southern. He didn't think Mr. Hamp would give him the knowledge. He didn't discriminate. You know, if you wanted to learn, he was going to teach you. You know, and that's the type of man he was. And Will took it. He did.
Yeah.
He didn't just tutor Wilbur Rollins. He tutored a lot of band directors. He gave a lot of information to a lot of band directors. You know, if you ain't know, Doc and Hamp was tight too, and a lot of the drills was helped by Hamp.
Yeah, Mr. Hampton used to come out. Mr. Hampton used to come out our band room as well.
Hamp was given Mr. Hamp was giving up all his knowledge. What was these niggas doing? Throwing it away?
What you mean?
Say, bro,
Burger, what you
say, bro,
mean?
don't let the dude on the show no more, bro.
Well,
It's like this. It's like this.
brother Ray was writing the songs and not giving the trumpet parts. Clearly, the
Before
stuff
shit,
school.
you're right.
But we won't go into that. We won't go into that right now. Because let me say this one more time, and I want the record to show. Nobody will ever convince me that they got that song from Fauché. I mean, got that song from St. Aug because I heard St. Aug play it, and I know what my ears heard. Not the same, but God bless.
I think the problem, Burger, you just said something. I think the problem is with a lot of people, like when you want to be great, when you want to be great at what you do, you surround yourself around great people and you get advice from great people. A lot of times in today's band world, a lot of dudes think they're great and they're not as great as they think they are. You got to always continue to learn every day. I get advice from every band director. You know, if I feel like I need to know something, I could call Mr. Johnson right now. I didn't call Ray a couple of times in my band director career. He could tell you. But you, as a band director, you gotta people. I know people may say he, but when this come down to my job, I'm very, very humble, and I'm always willing to learn from like a lot of the, especially like I got a lot of older band directors' numbers in my phone if I need to ask them something. See, and the thing was when you ask Mr. Hampton something, that's like you getting it from like, you know how when Jamie Winter say he coming to the quarterback of gods. When you ask Mr. Hampton, it's like you talking to the god of music, a marching band in New Orleans. So you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times now that don't happen. Cats think they know stuff, and y'all young cats think y'all know shit and don't know shit. Basically.
When we coming at young
What you
niggas
what
like
you
that,
trying
we be
to
chilling.
like?
When
What
we
you
coming
trying
at
to
young
say,
niggas
bro?
like that, we be chilling.
Let me tell you, a lot of the time young cats come and they be like, well, that shit was not high. You need to know what the old was and what the new can be.
But Johnny,
Well,
we
that's young
wasn't
people that
talking
was in them
about
cool
St.
ass
Aug when we
bands.
said that. When we hear a lot of that shit from back in the day, it be shitty.
But
But we not referring to St. Aug.
It be that
let me tell you
Fauché
something about.
stuff.
But let me tell you, let me tell you something. One thing about as a band director, you gotta learn from the mistakes other bands make, and you learn. That's how you learn. You learn from the good, you learn from the bad, and then you bring that to who you want that to be as a band director. You can
Burger,
learn
But
from
my
let me
band
say
director
this.
everything.
only learned from the
Let me say
good.
this. Burger, you trying my patience, you piece of shit. Now, this what
But
I'm saying.
Matt, we not
No,
even
no, 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 no,
talking
no,
about
no, no,
Kennedy. I'm
no,
not even
no.
talking about
I
Kennedy.
understand, but stay off my era when your era is so flawed, right? I mean,
Guess what? My era is flawed, and I'm here to say, okay, your era had flaws too, but you ain't going. You trying to expose my era flaws, but when I expose your era flaws, it's a problem.
But
If
the
you
thing
I
wasn't
don't know.
saying no, look,
Our
let's just
flaws
keep it
felt different.
real. If you
They
wasn't
felt
saying
different.
no, you don't have no room to talk.
Let me say this. You're never too old to learn, and when you stop learning, you pretty much dead mentally. So
That's real.
my dad used to say that all the time, and that's true. That's very true. Because you're gonna be forever stuck where you are when you know it all.
That's
Man,
Exactly,
fact.
Rock, you
them
know
old
what? You
folks.
say that,
A lot of the
That's
and that's
fact.
so
older
real.
cats,
People,
a lot of the
people
older
don't
cats
even.
are stuck, and
but no,
they
see,
don't want
that's
to
And you
evolve.
know what, Darrell, they're tripping too. Let
That's
me
the
tell you.
problem.
Can I tell y'all a secret, man? Do y'all know I still get 2 drum lessons every month?
Yeah.
I
And
still
that's why
like
you're
to this
not
day.
stuck. That's
I
why you're
still go get
successful.
drum lessons. I mean, so
That's
I feel you on that. When you stop learning, man, you wigging. I real life still get drum lessons. So y'all right on that, man.
the thing.
Hey, okay. I said I had.
Everybody on here
Oh,
who deal with music should still be learning every day.
Everybody, but I feel it doesn't matter if you old or you new, you still need to learn.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I think the problem a lot of times,
Yes, most definitely, most
one
definitely.
thing I notice about when, especially as a band director, you could tell somebody something and it could be like, well, how come y'all was doing it like that back in the days? Like I learned from a lot of mistakes was made at when I was an A band. You know, and I can say
Yep,
I can tell you that.
yep.
I learned from a
Lot.
lot of mistakes we made. And I'm gonna tell you, as a band member versus a band director, a band member, I did some shit that I shouldn't have did. And I think a lot of people that was in the band could say that. I mean, they did shit like they might have took up a part that they know they shouldn't have took up and did it anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
y'all whirlwinds was doing that at Abe all the time, taking parts up.
That's
Random.
because
Them was some loud ass whirlwinds.
you see how you try to talk about knowledge, and this why young niggas don't know nothing because they always trying to compare.
I
You
wasn't even
try me,
trying to.
Burger, and I'm trying to be on my best behavior because we got these gentlemen on here. But Burger, you trying it, brother. Now you went the clock in 2010 or 9. Well, I'm
I
gonna leave
didn't go
that
to no
there.
clock until 2010.
Whenever
Don't
you
you
went
damn lie
there,
on me.
Thank
they
you, Fresh.
they ate ass. That whole band. It looked stupid. The whole damn band had drum major caps. The don't burger, and then the uniforms was ugly. It was gray and burgundy. Like that's the colors. I mean, it's the colors people wear when they commit suicide. Literally, people commit
Guess what?
suicide in y'all
Oh
school
my
colors.
Guess what,
God.
This
man?
is
Guess
depressing.
what, man? Guess what?
Wow.
Oh
You
my god.
say all that,
Oh shit.
and you still play second fiddle to the Purple Boys. Your whole back crew.
Oh.
No,
So none
that's
of that
not
don't
true.
matter to me.
That's
That is
listen.
Oh.
I
very
was
much true. Them three brothers
your
already
band.
said it. They said it in the
Your
most
band.
nicest way
No,
possible
no, no, no,
that
no.
you
That
Negroes was second to
we
them.
were.
So
We
guess
wasn't in
what?
school together.
Guess
We
what?
wasn't in school together,
We
number
don't
one. And
care.
number two,
Burger
your
band.
band wouldn't have had a fiddle. They would have fired the whole damn they would have had the demolition crew when I was in school knock the walls out of your band room. Your band really was terrible. I get
See?
offended when
Stop
you mention
lying.
mine.
That is
It's offensive.
disrespectful to the
Nah,
Ah,
late
I'm
John
Burger,
telling you,
stop
Summers.
man.
it.
I
You
learned a lot from that band.
disrespectful to the
I learned
late
a lot from
great
that
John
band.
Summers. You're disrespectful to the late great John Summers.
I
And this
learned
is
a lot
why I
from
don't
that
like to
club
talk
band.
to you old
You
bastards.
disrespectful to
Because
him.
y'all
If you
disrespectful.
cared about him, you should have executed better.
It's
You
all
should
I
have.
right.
See
hey,
now,
listen. What
It's all
what
boss.
what
these
I
dudes
did
love
in
their
my
band
time,
director.
I am happy about it. I don't give a shit. I am happy about my time in band. The good times, the bad times, I learned from it
Yeah, a
all.
lot of
That's the
bad
problem
times.
with you old bastards. Y'all want to
The
be stuck
bad
in
outweighed the good,
19
though.
BC
You know
talking
what?
Listen,
You
about
know
the
what
way band used
You
to
know
be.
what I
We don't give
respect.
a shit about you old
Oh
motherfuckers.
Lord.
It's today.
Hey, we
We
gotta
don't
stop
Go
You
care.
this.
ahead, bro.
Stop telling us
you
about
know
that
what I
old
respect
shit.
about these brothers. I respect about these brothers when I hear them talk is they would have did anything they band. They would have jumped over a tall building for their band director. You wouldn't even play the notes on the paper. You play whatever the f You played
Oh my
whatever
God.
the F it was you wanted to play
Oh.
in that piece of shit y'all
this
drug
is
down
not
the
how
street.
Saint Augustine wanted.
Okay,
This is a
and I
Saint
didn't mean
Augustine
for this to
show,
go here.
and they are
Oh
very
Go
Lord.
ahead, bro.
disciplined. So let's
Hey,
keep it disciplined on
let's
I'm
this
trying
let's
to
show.
say,
yeah.
bro.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm
All right,
trying.
man.
I'm
All right.
Hey, bro.
trying.
I need y'all to get that attention.
Hey,
I need y'all to get that
yeah,
attention.
fellas, I
Okay.
want to say what I want to say something about Mr. Hap. Just an important point. Me and Mr. Hap got tight over the years because
Oh,
in sixth grade I started taking oboe lessons from him. People really don't know oboe was his main instrument. People don't know that. Yeah, oboe was
I
his
didn't know
main
that.
instrument. Yeah, and so I played the oboe, so I've known him all my life. And when moved away, the first thing I did besides I went to St. Aug and just soaked up knowledge. And for a band director, I'm telling you, he told me this. He said, I gave up my life to make St. Aug good. And I was just shocked. He said, I gave up my life to make sure the St. Aug Marching 100 band was the best band in the land. And I kid around with Southern guys, and because when I was Texas Southern, half the band at Texas Southern was New Orleans, and of course you had the people from SU. And I always told them, if Mr. Hamp wouldn't have said no in 1968, you'd have never heard of Doc. Y'all know, tell y'all my boy. But he said no instead of saying all. And I always kid with the Southern people about that. But he just loved saying all. You didn't know that, Matt?
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know
It's
Doc
not.
got that job offer. I never knew
They
that.
offered
I
that
never
job
knew that.
to guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's history there.
That's big
I ain't know
history.
that. I ain't know that, but that's big. That's big time history. I did not know that at all.
You see, this
Well,
is
I'm
why.
so wait. Before you get that, I'm so happy a St. Aug person ain't get that job because we wouldn't have never been able to hear the end of it.
Hey,
Boy,
no.
Dude, you
Hold
can't
on.
hear the
oh
end of
Lord,
what they did now. Jesus
thank
Christ.
you, Lord, Lord Jesus, thank you, Doc.
I never knew that Mr.
I
Hampton
think
was
that's why
offered that job.
Yeah.
I think that's why he stayed at St. Aug and the boys was going to took that shit.
Do you
Man,
realize what Rock would
I
be
can
saying
hear.
right now on this show? Do y'all understand the shit
But
talking
but
Rock would be
but
giving us?
but this is the thing though. Culturally, it would have been different because he would have never made it I mean, he wouldn't have been at St. Aug when Rockingham got there.
Right, right.
Like it would have been different. I
Yeah, I
mean,
would have
band
been there.
in New Orleans would have been different in general.
Shit, I was born in 1973. He would have been there 4 years already.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
it
Man,
would have been way
1978,
different.
man.
Uh,
Well, listen,
Yeah.
man, listen. We have enjoyed this show thoroughly. Thank y'all for so
likewise,
much for
likewise.
letting us behind the veil of St. Aug and that great man. I mean, outside of this live, man. I mean, y'all know that I have the utmost respect for all y'all. I want to thank y'all personally because when I asked y'all to come on and speak on the brother, y'all didn't change words with me. Man, I appreciate this. Yup, I've learned so much tonight, man. So respect to you, brothers, and sit real talk. I mean this when I say it. If ever I can do anything for y'all, y'all just please let me know.
No doubt, man. Hey, bro. As always, I had a good time with y'all crazy asses. Yeah, but this, hey, I appreciate you putting this on.
Hey man,
Pleasure was all ours.
I like when y'all call me the OG in the room and the NOLA group. I just enjoy listening to y'all. I got one to say that. Please don't. I'm not a drummer, but please don't challenge nobody else on that group. Please don't. Sorry. Please
damn,
stick to the drum
I
set.
had a
Stick to
feeling
the
that
drum
was
damn.
set.
coming. I don't know why I knew that, but I had a feeling that was coming.
It wouldn't have been him if it wasn't.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
I don't know why
It
I'm
wouldn't
here.
have been him, man. It wouldn't have.
Hey, y'all crazy, bro.
Right. So,
Bro, who
But
before y'all go on ask y'all, who wrote Night Owls for St.
Winston, guy graduated with me. Winston Turner.
yeah.
That
The-
shit fire too. That's another
He,
song I like
he
from
wrote
St. Aug.
Crush. He
The
also wrote
drum
Crush.
part, I like the drum part too though. A lot of St. Aug drum parts be fire.
Oh, yeah.
it was all right. It was all right.
Oh,
Hey,
man,
before y'all
don't do
get
it,
off,
man. Don't do it, man. Don't do
hey,
it,
before
man.
y'all
I'm
get
messing
off,
around. I'm messing
Don't
around.
end
I'm
I'm
on
gonna
messing
a
around.
say,
positive note, man.
Don't go there. But I
I'm
like
gonna
some
say,
some
thank
guys.
y'all for coming on. When Matt
Some
brought the
guys stuff.
idea to the table, I know it was gonna be a good show because all of the history and all of the greatness that came out of St. Aug. So thank y'all for coming on. Uh, we're gonna smash out whenever we get our school back. And definitely,
You graduated 2012, huh?
yeah.
Somebody told you to say that. You ain't say that shit on your own. Somebody wrote that down for you
No,
to
no,
say.
hey, real stuff. My daddy went to St. Aug for a year, I think, or 2 years. But I always had respect for St. Aug just because of that discipline and the representation that y'all had for the city for so long. So when I started liking band, it was because of St. Aug. You know, it
Was
wasn't
this
because of
before or after the big baritones came to the band?
it wasn't because of old Perry Walker that I started liking music
Okay, I just
band.
wanted to
So
make sure. I just had to make sure.
much love.
For sure, man. Y'all have a good night, bro.
Always
Love
blessings.
y'all. My
Hey,
brother.
everybody
Hey,
love
y'all,
y'all like I always say.
Much love, man.
y'all do
Much
the same,
love.
man. It was a pleasure, man. God bless y'all.
Thank,
Likewise.
thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Hey.
Already, Mr. Ray.
All
Burger.
right, fellas.
Burger. I need you to
What,
make
man?
one.
Hey, hey, hey,
Get a haircut. You
hey.
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
hey.
That's
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
say this one
Tomorrow I'm
thing.
going.
I'm gonna say this one thing, Rock. Hey, bro.
What's up?
COVID saved a lot of people this year, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Johnny, you heard that, Johnny? You the
Is
Aberson
he?
band director. He's
Dude,
Yeah.
saying that you got
He
saved.
was
All
talking.
right.
Hey,
I
you
just
hear
wanted you to hear that, Johnny.
Hey, I don't talk stuff to Ray. I don't talk stuff to him.
I bet you don't. I
I
bet
don't.
you don't.
I'm
Come
just
on,
stupid
dude.
invested, man.
I love y'all. Hey, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all,
Love
bro.
you too,
Appreciate it.
man. Love all y'all, man. Nothing
Yeah,
but
thank you, man.
respect
Blessings,
for
man.
y'all.
Thanks.
Blessings. Y'all
Thanks,
have a
man.
good
I
night, man.
appreciate it. They say, do what y'all doing. Stay about there.
Man, these niggas
Hey, bro, I really enjoyed this show on the cool. Like, them was some real dope brothers, bro. All of them. Like, seriously. And I never met brother Wireless, but that St. Nug knowledge is crazy because when you think about Black history and American history, like that's crazy how St. Nug really a part of that. Like in so many ways, right here in our city, full of culture. We talk about a lot of history in the city, but we never talk about St. Aug and how big and important they played, the role they played in this city, as far as marching band and music forever. Like that's crazy.
Right. I already knew they was gonna come out on here and preach to us, like there was the pastors. But
Hey yo,
like you said,
we got 77 people on there. We need to get 77 likes right now. All of y'all love this
Yeah, can we
right
get
now.
all 77 of y'all to go like the show, subscribe to YouTube, please? We do this every week for y'all for free because we love doing it. We love interacting with y'all. We love it. Can y'all just show us some? It costs $0 to go like and subscribe to our YouTube page. If y'all want to see us keep doing this, can y'all do us the favor of liking, sharing, going on our YouTube page, and showing us some love by hitting the subscribe button? That's
the
all we
New
ask.
Orleans Breakfast Club.
If you old and you don't know how to do it, call your grandchildren who got their iPhone in their hand all day to show you how to subscribe to our page. The
Say,
Breakfast Club
most
in New
def-
Orleans.
say, bro,
most def, man.
much respect to like the history of St. Augustine. Much respect, and I mean, one thing that was not said was that Mr. Edward Hampton produced a lot of professional musicians. He produced a lot of band directors. Like he made some cats. Some cats is making just like how Matt make his money doing the drums. A lot of cats from St. Augustine is making him money just playing music, and it's a lot. It's a lot out there. A lot is out there. Much you can't do nothing but respect. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I really want to do a show. I wonder if we can find some people that was in that 1967 band, St.
Yes, I
Augustine
would
band.
love to have some of them on this show. That's
I
what we
would,
should have asked Rockin' them. We need to
I
get
would
in contact with Rockin' them and ask them that.
because I really want because I like tonight. I already had respect for Ray, but I just had a different kind of respect for those people that because I know if a nigga urine at me and forget me, probably not a nigga, but somebody threw urine and I had to march a parade. Like it wouldn't have been. I probably wouldn't have marched because I probably would have ran on. I know me.
I'm gonna be real with you. If I was the band director, I couldn't have told my students don't do nothing.
Yeah,
I'd have been like, it's let's get. But you know what though? Let me tell you what make Mr. Hampton great. He probably saved them young men's lives. They probably would have got massacred out there, and that's the shitty part about it.
Right.
I mean, like you got
I
to
ain't gonna lie,
understand the era.
Matt.
Hmm?
I ain't gonna lie. You know how you be when if some shit like that happen, you be like, you gotta get that one nigga, that one person. You gotta
Yeah,
get your ass whooped. You gonna get that one person. But
yeah.
I
Listen,
mean,
I mean, it was a mob. It was a mob of them, and but I always say about racists, especially in my experience, with dealing with racism and shit like that
Hold on,
is
hold
it
on, hold on, Matt. I saw somebody tag two people. I don't know if Greg saying that he was in the band or what. And
we
I
were
saw a brother up there, Mr. Dwight Moore. He tagged another guy. I would love for them to inbox us. We reach out to them because if that's guys who marched in the band in '67, we would love to have them on the show. And I don't think a lot of people actually listened that Mr. Ray got shot in St. Aug band as a
in the
drum major.
face.
hey
And
bro,
that says, and nobody probably went to jail. And that's the worst part about it. To know that the man got shot and nobody probably paid for it.
hey bro. Also, look,
Yeah,
let me
that's
say
the
this. I see another comment. We talk about Mr. Edwin Hampton tonight. We know that other band directors made musicians too, and we probably going to give those band directors some glory too. Like I saw somebody say something about Donna Richardson. We probably will have something about Bell Show. So I just want y'all to know that we not just saying that Mr. Hampton is the only person that made musicians. No, but we giving kudos to St. Aug tonight. Let me just say that, and what they done for the New Orleans
We're gonna
band
get some full shit next week.
before see next.
Nah, we got a
nah.
long
Real
way to go.
talk. I'm gonna be real with you. I look forward to doing the full shit show.
I do.
Man,
I would
y'all
love
like
this.
when I'm a gigging musician, and so and I respect bros that got the same testimony as me, which is you left from you got out of high school and started getting it. and it's a lot of dudes that did that at Fauché, and that would not have been possible without Mr. Bremer. I mean, like we joke a lot, man, but y'all really don't know the greatness that Fauché produced, man. Like amazing, world class
All right, Matt.
musicians.
All right, Matt. All right. Talk about St.
No,
Augustine.
listen. No, no, no,
No,
no,
look,
no.
no,
I'm with you.
seriously.
Wait, real talk though. We gotta get off here. It's
Bullshit.
That's what I'm
9:15.
saying. We keep. He said, "Dang, hold up." So y'all saying man got shot? Look, I ain't know all that. I ain't know he got shot in the head and the jaw. That's messed up. But it was a good show tonight, man. I think you're the only one who didn't say nothing before we go.
Boy, man, said a
Oh,
lot.
just no. It was a good. It was a good show, man. I enjoyed it. Hey, yo, we need some likes though. That's my. Thank you,
Yes,
bro,
we
for
need
coming
these
out.
fools to go
We need
like
these
our
loves.
stuff,
Hit the
man.
love button. We need that.
Hey,
Share love. Share love.
I bet
Share
you,
love.
I bet you if I glued my head to this thing right here, I get a lot of likes, right? Man, shut
You're
up. Look,
not. You
look.
just can't sue us next, and we're gonna
Hey,
start a GoFundMe for the show and get like 20 racks. Yeah.
hey, bro, shout out. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I know her. I know her personally. God, she's
Oh, she
straight.
from here for real?
Yeah, I know her. I know her personally. Like I know her personally. Like I thought she was playing at first, but I know her. She's straight now. She's real straight now. Even maybe getting straighter. But
You got a
But
boyfriend?
huh?
You got a
Yeah.
boyfriend?
Uh, she got sisters.
Man, I'm stupid, bro.
You say that GoFundMe looking real nice right now.
But hey man, thank y'all for hey, shout out another thing is shout out to 21st Century Brass Band. If you didn't catch that show on Tuesday night, that was a hell of a show. House of Blues, they did their thing. 21st Century Brass Band. Also shout out to Robin, man. Robin Martin, she do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. That last week all the guests was talking about 35 except for Johnny. So just makes note of that, Robin, that all the guests were talking about except for Johnny Van Buren was talking about 35.
I didn't say nothing about 35.
But shout out to Robin for everything you do. Robin do a lot of different things.
Shout out, show us stuff, man.
Also, they still haven't caught the killer, right? Burger.
Yeah, man. We will not let y'all forget Jameer Alfred. Y'all gonna continue to see his name and anybody that lost their life to senseless violence in the city. We some gotta give. So we had a show a few weeks back on Jameer Alfred, 14-year-old, got killed Christmas night. Somebody child, somebody cousin, somebody brother. Like crazy situation. You know what I'm saying? So we don't ever want to get too lost in the sauce that we forget we're gonna keep saying justice for Jameer. And
And
see y'all next week. What
hold
y'all
on, with
try to
that
get
being
next.
with that being said, I think he have a bike ride. It's gonna be on February 20th, if I'm not mistaken. The bike ride. So shout out to that. Shout out to his parents for staying strong. Also, man, thank y'all for coming out. Da 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 da
Peace and hair grease.
da 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 da.